This is the theme song to my podcast. I stole this song off the internet because I needed a theme song for my podcast.
Great.
Yo, thanks for being here, man. Cheers. Cheers me one time.
Salute.
Yeah, all that. Yo, I appreciate you. Yo, we've already been talking a little bit. We made a little trip to the liquor store and whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's pick up where we were.
Yeah, leaky roofs. I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this rain, bro.
It sucks, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of does. I didn't know that it got to you like that. I didn't know about it.
Yeah. It's my whole life. I just always knew I was. I grew up north in Northern California, where it rains not a lot, but way more than down here, right? So all I knew as a kid was like, fuck, I'm kind of bummed out when it rains. You know what I mean? And finally, I get older. I'm like, oh, there's something called like seasonal affective disorder or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm definitely a candidate. But
no, I agree. I think we all are to an extent, right? Like,
I would agree.
Yeah, it'd be cool because there's like statistics, right? Like where there's less sun, there's like more cases of like, I don't know about like suicide per se, but like there's definitely like
depression
and
which
shit.
Suicide is often a byproduct of, or at least sometimes. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
I feel can be associated with that. Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's real. It's real.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, we'll just jump right in here. Do you deal with depression at all? Any kind of depression?
Real shit? Not really.
Not
man.
really.
I used to, like, my whole life, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, as an adult now, I think it's just not an issue so much anymore.
Yeah.
Or if it is, maybe I've just acclimated to like this base and now like I'm like,
Sure.
oh, okay, like, I'm not sad. Like this is just life is a pain and I don't even know it anymore type shit,
I do. I understand that. I operated opposite of that. So like I was pretty like normal. I'm not, normal's probably the wrong way to describe it, but I never dealt with like depression or being bummed other than like when it rained, you know what I mean? But it was never like no existential shit. It was just more like, fuck, I'm gonna sleep all day. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Until I got older, and then it's like, oh, this is depression. I think like once I discovered, oh, they have a name for this shit, then I started like, I don't know whether I built it up in my mind to be bigger than it is or what, but it's definitely a thing like that I deal with it. Deal being the operative word. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I mean, it's. I'm not gonna say it's never been a better time to be depressed or to be going through some shit, but it's becoming so like people. I mean, everybody that it's becoming like less of a stigma to talk about, especially for men and shit.
Sure.
Which has always been an issue. Like, I don't know why. It's like, it's almost kind of like emasculating, for lack of a better word, for a man to be like, oh, I'm depressed today. Like, if I came up to you and was like, yo, I'm depressed today. Like,
yeah,
you maybe 10 years ago, you might be like, damn, Greaseball must really think that we're like good friends or something to be opening up about some shit like that.
Right. That's a good point.
Whereas now it's just like, that's just some shit that, we're self-aware and we're fucking understanding.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people out here feeling like they're alone, right? Like,
right.
And when the more comfortable we get with having these conversations, like the closer we get to like just not eliminating that, but at least like, people don't feel alone with that shit, and then
right.
It might save somebody's life one day.
No, absolutely, man, absolutely.
So that's real shit,
Yeah.
So.
That's kind of why I've just once I discovered that it's something in there, there's something in there. I just was like, fuck, I don't want to be. I walk that tightrope between like being the annoying guy who's like always talks about it. Like if that's the most interesting thing about you, I don't want to hang out with you that much. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But you know what I'm saying?
The sad guy. There goes the sad guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this was something I wanted to talk about eventually because I kind of like. I write like a rough outline of shit I'd like to cover, and then just let it go wherever it is. Later on, I was going to ask, or rather I was going to talk about your song, Happiness to Me. That's like one of my favorite songs, period. Not like favorite songs by you or favorite songs that a friend made. Like it's one of my favorite songs. I play that shit all the time.
Wow, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, of course, man. Thank you for making it, dude.
That's that's huge. I would imagine a lot of music. So
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I'm glad to be on the team,
Oh, for sure, man. I think specifically that song, I think the subject matter is something a lot of people not to be a dick and not to air people out or whatever, but I think the idea of that song is something that's really, really romanticized more now. I think maybe it's like a byproduct of the fact that depression and stuff like that is more accepted in everyday conversation. With that, people think it's like, wow, it's kind of cool to be the depressed guy, or like the minimalist. You know what I mean? And so I don't think you say anything on that record and in any of your music. I don't think you say any of it in jest. Like, I really believe you feel that way. Like, for people who don't know the song, it's basically like, what are some of the lyrics? Like this is happiness to me, sitting on the ground with a 40 or three. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Crusty punk rocker with their head right on my knee.
Yeah.
And all my favorite songs playing from the same CD. Yeah.
And a boombox full of batteries. This will never sadden me. Like, just the simple things in life. Right. And I think a lot of people, they either wish they could feel that way, or they want people to think they're that way. I think you're one of the few people that I know that just kind of woke up that way. Like, that's your genuine default settings. Have you always been that way?
Well, I think like that's maybe that's a response to, you know, like I said, growing up so damn sad.
Yeah.
If you really think like, I mean, I don't know if it's not a healthy solution to that sadness at all, but like, you know, that's me going, and when I was like 13, 14, I used to go and drink beer in this field with like these 30-year-old like homeless men.
Oh shit.
Instead of going to high school. Like, that's what I would go do.
Yeah. And
that was like the one thing that kind of made me feel better, you know? And so it's always kind of just been like a reaction. And yeah, it's like, it's fun. And you know, when I wrote that song, I wasn't 14 years old, obviously, but like,
right.
You know, I become kind of molded to that over time. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this is cool. I just grew up this like hedonistic fucking, you know, ghoul that could just wake up and I'm gonna go drink a 40 today in the ditch for no reason. Like, no, you know, it took like some pain, I guess, to put you in that drainage ditch or wherever the fuck that place is for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in that, you've managed to find happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, today, you know, because that was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. When
I wrote that, I'm not drinking and, you know, fucking under a bridge anymore, you know.
Right.
It's changed since then.
Yeah.
But it is like shit, man. Like, you know, I wouldn't be super opposed to it. Like one of these days, you know. Like,
I was gonna say, I don't know what you're doing later, but there's a bridge down the street, son. We got a whole case of beer,
dude. It's probably dry under there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It might be crowded under there right now.
Fucking
motherfucking
right?
river in the
have
street.
To fight for a spot. That's
yeah. Which I'm not opposed to either.
Down there.
Yeah. That's wherever all the smart people are there. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, real shit. It's that album is like kind of not dated, but like everything on that album is very like different than where I'm at now in terms of like finding what's happiness to me. You know, it's still cool, but it's definitely changed, you know?
Yeah. How do you feel about that older music? Not old music, but the older music. Do you cringe? Because I know a lot of us cringe when we hear our old music.
Oh, I mean, no, not really.
Dope.
No, yeah, like it's. I see why. Like a lot of people would, and there's, dude, I have plenty of songs where I look back and I'm like, man, this is trash. You know, like, my god. But that album, because it took a lot of time to make it, and it was my first like album. You know, the Happiness to Me album, and so it's a culmination of like all the shit I did over the span of like 5-6 years. Yeah. But only like the choice shit, the shit that I knew would like kind of hold up. And so far it has. I mean, you know, as I get older, I'm sure like I won't agree with everything. But as far as like the way it sounds, it's cool. I fuck with it. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, some people aren't shy either. They'll be like, yeah, I like that one more than the second one, you know? Oh, okay. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm one of those people, but I love both of those albums a lot. But I do see the difference. But that's literally just what it is. It's a difference. You could tell you're in a different place. How long ago was your second album put out?
I dropped that on my birthday of 2018. My birthday's at the end of the year. Basically, like a year.
Wait, when's your birthday?
December 30th. So,
okay. I'm December 14.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, the start of 2019.
Right.
2 days off. So.
Yeah. That makes sense actually, because I had just moved into where I live now, and we had to paint the whole fucking place, and it was probably right around then. Like, I think I even spent like New Year's Eve painting my new place before we even moved in, and you had put that out, and I remember just like inhaling hella paint fumes, just listening to your music.
Yo, that's great, man.
Yeah, like over and over. I just kept playing that. You know what I mean?
I hope somehow the sound waves are embedded in the wet paint of your home.
I'm sure it is. Yeah,
and maybe like in 500 years, some architect can come with a needle and drag it down the wall and just hear some shit that I wrote up and an MP3 off Spotify.
Right. There'll be like an app or some shit on the iPhone 53 or something. You can just hold it to the wall and
I've heard of some shit like that where sound waves get captured in like some shit like that. It could all be like fucking bro science bullshit, but I don't know.
It's still fun to think about.
It is kind of neat to imagine, like you know, because it's like a vibration, right?
Sure.
I don't fucking know. I'm not the one.
Me neither.
Okay.
No, dude, me neither.
Okay,
that's how I explain everything. It's like some words and then or some shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. That's a great approach to life in general. It's like, well, because you can go balls out on any subject and be like, or I don't fucking know.
Some shit. Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah.
You fucking.
I never claimed to be smart. I'm just like, I've heard a lot of shit from smart people and I remember very little of it, but that won't stop me from regurgitating it.
Absolutely. It's a great approach to life.
Yeah, that's all podcasting is.
Here's some shit I heard or something.
Yeah, or something. I think the word underrated is an overrated term. So normally I would say that you are underappreciated, but that doesn't really fit you either, because those who are aware of you, to my knowledge, everyone, like for instance, I tweeted and I posted on Instagram that you're going to be on the show today, and like quite a few people responded, a few of whom I don't even know personally or even know like how they know me.
Wow.
And they were like, yo, I love dude's music. And I was like, fucking me too. Like, so I'm stoked that you're stoked and we'll all be stoked together. You know what I mean? So I don't think
that's so cool.
You're underappreciated, because people who are aware of you tend to like really appreciate you. You know what I mean? So it's really just that you're not as known. You know what I mean?
Slept on, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, that would be like what slept on entails, because it's like
maybe, I don't know. That's a good point. Let's unpack that. What does slept on really mean?
Well, I think that's what it's the implication when you're saying something slept on is like, oh, this is, you're kind of already saying like, oh, this shit's tight, but you don't know about it, right? Like,
okay, yeah.
Don't you think? You wouldn't say you're sleeping on some whack shit, right?
Right. That's true.
Or would you? I don't think you would, right? Like,
if you think it's whack, you wouldn't. But if people think it's not whack and they think you think it's whack, they might say you're sleeping on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a funky term, but I feel you, man. It's a weird, and especially because like with the rappers, you don't want to fucking say the wrong shit, or any artist really. You don't want to. I mean, you could say whatever the fuck you want to me. I don't really care. But,
I feel you.
But like. It's like I agree that it's a weird thing. There was this one time, this one guy was like, damn man, this is one of the most underrated cats and this and that. And I low-key got a little upset, because I'm like, well, I'm not really underrated. Just you're kind of admitting to me right now that you're just sleeping on my shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, if you appreciated my shit and you rated it well, then how could I be underrated? You know what I mean? Like,
interesting. Maybe he like means to other people. Like when I say like if I were to say you're underappreciated, like I definitely appreciate you. It's there are not enough other people who appreciate you. But I really don't think it's that they are aware of you and they're just like, meh. I think they just have never heard of you or have heard your name and haven't bothered. I mean, there's so much stuff to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and believe me, like I don't make. I mean, if people aren't aware of me, it's my own damn fault. You know. So that's on me. I can't be mad at people for not knowing. Like, oh, here I have 2 albums out. It's like, well, whose fucking fault? Whose job is that to promote that? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I do like, I do understand that aspect of it. And,
yeah.
And it is a game. I just never really cared too much to play that.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Like, if from 1 to 10, where's that desire? Like, where's that level of desire to be way more known, famous? I don't know, however you want to label it.
Well, it's going up now. In the past, like I'm here, you know, I'm doing shit like this, right?
Yeah.
And but it's only gone up in the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
And prior to that, it wasn't really about that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of adverse to the idea of like marketing and all that shit because it was just about rap. I've always been that guy who's just, I just want to make dope rap music. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But like, you know, as you get older and you know, start realizing like, hey, I can eat off this and I can, you know, I can do a lot more than just make some dope rap in my room or whatever. Like,
right.
Why wouldn't I want to do that?
Yeah.
So I've been more pursuing like more or less like I don't know, just marketing myself and all that and building the fanfare.
Sure, just being more consistent and more purposeful was the word. I understand what you mean.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because like there's plenty of people out there who don't have the product, you know, and they got a pitch, you know.
Sure.
And they got a mean pitch and it's working for them, you know?
Yeah.
So like, why not be the guy with both, you know? Like, it's a fucking dumb thing to do if you're not, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I've been seeing that pay off for a lot of people. And I'm not saying that these people don't deserve it or anything.
Yeah.
They 100% deserve it. They're going out and fucking getting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Their work is paying off. No, I completely understand that.
So it's a weird, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, you just got to play that game, man. And lately I've been on that shit a little bit more.
Good.
Like I got like stickers. I brought these for you.
I seen. Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, so,
tight. Yeah.
So even if it's just something small, like a little sticker or something, right?
Definitely.
It's just getting your name out and trying, you know?
I appreciate that. I love getting little things. I'm going to like put something like a time capsule, all the things that I have from like the guests on the show and shit. That's tight.
The people usually bring you?
Occasionally, yeah. More often than not, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine, right? Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're doing, right? Like, it goes back to what we were saying. Like,
you
gotta that's part of playing that game.
You
know?
Exactly.
And dude, believe me, I would love to come and sit down and just talk to you, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, we are here with a purpose too, you know what I mean? And it is like a marketing thing. In a way.
In a way, I mean, to piggyback off that, when I kind of embarked on this, at first it was like, well, I have cool friends I could talk to, friends with like big followings. So then I get to talk to my friends who also have like gigantic followings and everyone's kind of happy or whatever. But then naturally, like for myself, my natural progression is to be like, well, I should like get in this dude's DMs. You know what I mean? And like, I want like superstars. And some of them respond, some of them don't. But with that, I get some bites and some of them just ignore me or whatever. But I've noticed like with that, this shit becomes less and less fun for me. Do you know what I mean?
Pursuing.
Yeah, just because then it becomes a job and I'm not totally.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'm also like kind of an emotional dude. I try to keep that like under wraps and shit. But like, I'm
do a
not
good job with that.
Thank you. I'm not exempt from being like, well, fuck you. You don't want to like, you're not going to respond. You know what I mean? Or you're going to respond and we're going to schedule some shit. I'm going to come over here and set up. They don't know any of this, right? But this is just me and my feelings. Like I'm going to come set up all this shit and then you're just like not going to show up. Like that's happened. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
But the reason that happens though is because these aren't my friends. So literally it clicked. I'm like, I'm just going to talk to my friends. So that's when I hit you up. I hit up Kid Presentable, like all my friends, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's real.
That's just to respond to you saying like, yeah, we have a purpose, but I am really just sitting here talking to the homie.
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I could, you know, I would love to sit around and shoot the shit with you. No, like, that's, you know, if there was, you know, if we weren't recording it and all that shit, like I'd be down.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And that's just, I don't know. That's speaks to, I guess, my respect for you as a creator and a person. I think you're really cool. So
thanks, man.
So thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, of course, bro. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and
but
risking
also,
your life.
Let me push my shit. You know what I'm saying?
But also, let me get this 16 off. Put a beat on, Sway. Yeah.
Has anyone ever told you, like, just obviously ironic. Like, has anybody yelled like, "You don't have the answers" at you? How many times?
Not yet, but I'd like to. I'd
Really?
like that to be an experience in my collection.
I feel like that would have happened by now.
They should. Yeah.
I haven't heard every episode,
Right?
But I feel like that's something that would have happened by now, because that's like, if you're, I would imagine you're probably well more versed in like podcasts and stuff like that. Are you? Do you listen to?
I do. I'm big into podcasts.
I feel like you probably read books on shit like this, right?
on what?
Podcasting, broadcasting, being a badass dude.
I probably should.
Well, yeah. Okay. Could have fooled me.
Yeah. But my whole life is just like, that looks cool. I want to do that. Like the time between me discovering something and then if it's like interesting enough to get my attention at all, you could like start the countdown until I'm like, I want to do that too. Regardless of what that is. Sometimes it works out. A lot of times it doesn't. Like I want to play the bass guitar. Not good at it.
No, but you gave it a shot.
Oh yeah, I went. But I'm also reckless. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a bass guitar. Not like, hey, 1,000 musicians I know. Might I borrow an instrument? It's like, no, I'm going to Best Buy. I'm gonna drop $500 and force myself to play.
Yeah, and they have a space, where you can play with the instrument for a little while.
That. Yeah. If I'm not making irresponsible financial decisions, how real is it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but, that's real. That's real.
It's definitely not the right way to be, but it is how I am.
I don't know if it's the wrong way to be, because like I did this thing the other day, like a dummy, right? Like I woke up and I was like, I want to start writing a blog. So I did. Yeah. And I next thing you know, I'm buying the domain. I'm naming the fucking domain.
Story of my life. Yeah.
And, right.
Yes.
And so you can relate to this. Is exactly what we're talking about. And now I have a blog. I never, I kind of waxed about it in my brain a little bit, maybe for a day. I not even a month before that, I was at Guitar Center looking at a bass. No capping. I woke up and like right when they opened, I made my friend go with me. I was like, yeah, I think I want this acoustic bass. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So but I did pull the trigger on the blog. Now I have a website and I'm like, I'm maybe gonna write some shit on here. I don't know. Yeah. But and it's always something like that fucking car. Like I was fucking around with that car for a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to fucking work on BMWs. Yeah. And right now my thing is virtual reality headsets and all that shit.
Oh shit.
I just got one like 2 days ago and they're like really hard to get.
Yeah.
And so like
explain that. What do you mean virtual reality? Like a VR?
Like a VR headset.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You've seen them.
Yeah, Would cover your eyes.
Big clunky stupid things that go over your face.
My brain went to like headphones. I'm like, what's a virtual reality headphones? But now I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thing this month.
Yeah.
And now that I've got it, it's like, okay, cool. Let's see how long that goes until it's the next thing, And it's always.
That is absolutely how I am.
Yeah. Dude, you should read the blog post because I wrote about that.
I was gonna ask, like, what is your blog? What's your website?
Well, I have one post, and it's about this fucking weird, obsessive thing that I do, where like I'm always pursuing all these things.
Yeah.
And it's a weird way to be, but I don't know if it's wrong because like some people, right? I'll give you the cliff notes. You don't have to read it, but basically it's like, well, some people are just, they don't have time or the ability to fucking just even get to do that because their obsessions aren't, hey, maybe I'm going to wake up and play the bass today. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to figure out how I got to put food on the table, right. and pay my goddamn rent, and like, I guess in a way we're privileged to be able to pursue all these half-assed things, Yes. And maybe some of them aren't half-assed, and those things that land, then they do, and not to discredit us that we're, just because we have the ability to pursue those things that we don't deserve them, but like it is dope that we're able to do that,
Yeah, I absolutely follow that. I've always known that I'm half privileged and half reckless. Like it's a little like I don't mind for myself. I don't mind bill collectors calling me once in a while. I got a fucking podcast to put together. You know what I mean? This is what's important to me. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I'm not at all suggesting this is, like you said, the right or wrong way to be. You know what I mean? But I just, for whatever reason, I've always been that way. I know exactly, like, people think like, oh, your priorities are fucked up, whatever. No, like my priorities just aren't the same as your priorities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know exactly what's high on my priority list. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you know, you're not fucking on the street corner with a tennis racket, a bass guitar, a skateboard, and just
not yet. Yeah,
but you know, so it's like fine, let the man cook. You know.
Yeah. I'm just I'm very susceptible to cool shit. There's so many cool things, and I want to do them all. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do them, man. Like, right? You know?
Yeah, yo, exactly. Just do them. Like, what the fuck are you waiting for? For a while, I was stuck in that, like, I want to do everything. So, like, naturally, you would assume, okay, well, then pick one and start. And then when you're done with that, or whether that's in an hour or 10 years from now, then go to the next thing. But me, I used to just let all the things out, or even just let the fact that I wanted to do so many things kind of hold me in place and like stop me from pursuing even one of them because I know which way to go first. You know what I mean? Damn. So, yeah. And then one day you're like, fuck it. I guess it's the podcast, and here we are. you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, it's great. You know, it's working out.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, it's definitely fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I've always kind of been that way with everything. Like, I'll do something to death until it's not fun anymore, and then fuck it. You know, let it burn.
Sure.
You know? Yeah. Have you always been that way? Like, you know, bouncing around from interest to interest?
No, not at all. It's a new thing, you know. I'm just
how new would you say?
Like since about November.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah,
or like August, I guess.
Okay.
But it was primarily just like for the past. Can I get a beer,
dude? Dab's here. Let me grab them.
I just stay put. I feel bad. You got to get up and.
Nah, absolutely not.
All right. I'll get up next time. Thank you.
Hey, all day, baby. All right. So since you're saying since August.
Oh yeah. So that's a newer thing because like, gosh. Okay. What are we in? 2020. Start of January 2015. We lost we being me, my mom, and my sister. The house we grew up in. We lost that house, right?
Okay.
Like mortgage, fucking couldn't pay it type shit.
Sure.
And I was like 22. Yeah, 22 years old. And so I was like on my own for the first time in my life. Like, and that's a common thing for a lot of people. You know, people have been younger, you know, and that to me, that was like the household, you know, the childhood home, like that's an unwavering thing. That's just a staple in your life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now it's gone. And so for a hot, like, almost up until just recently, it's been a constant. Even though I've had places to live for like the better half of almost 3 years, I've been renting this home with my friends.
Okay.
But like there was a time where there's this thing that happened to me where it's like pure survival mode, and like I couldn't really do music for a while, and it was just focused on like where the fuck am I gonna sleep at, you know, like and how the fuck am I gonna, you know, work and maintain. And like, you know, luckily I didn't like ever wrestle with like hard shit, like drugs or anything like that. Because that's really easy to fall into when you're in a shitty situation.
Absolutely.
Like that. But yeah, so like I said, it goes back to what I was saying. I'm privileged now because I'm finally at like I've kind of got the hang of this being on your own and adulting thing. Yeah. Where I can have these whims and fancies and just pursue them and shit.
Sure.
So, but it's definitely not the way I've always been. Fuck no. Fuck no.
I gotcha. Yeah. And we don't, I mean, now that we're on the subject, we don't have to spend too much time on like the backstory. I'm not fucking Mark Maron. You know what I mean? I'm just like, where does your story start? Like where were you born? Where did you first live? So
I grew up in Riverside, California, the Inland Empire. Yeah. And my family, my dad's side, my parents met there. They went to high school. They met in high school. That whole shit. Yeah. My dad's side of the family is huge, Mexican. The second or third family to ever inhabit that city. So we're everywhere over there. Yeah. It's like in that neighborhood it's like, you know, we grew up in the fucking hood, you know? Right. And so yeah, we grew up there and shit. And then when I was like 13, my dad got sick. He got cancer. He died. They had to take out like a mortgage or whatever, some shit. I don't know. We had to pay dude's bills type shit. Yeah.
They put the house up.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel that.
I'm not at real life shit like that yet.
That's a very slang term. I have no idea what the technical term is.
But yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
And then, then 5 years ago, fucking, lost that house because of that.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a few things that happen in between, but that's like the general outline of like, my life as far as like where I come from type shit, So now, after the past 5 years, just kind of been on my own, like stayed with people from the hip hop scene, family here or there, not really.
Yeah.
And, I found a home with some people that I was playing shows with out in Pomona about 3 years ago. I was sleeping on this couch in this room, and then a room went up for rent in the house, so I took it. I got myself a cool little job out there, and then yesterday I was setting up my VR headset in the same room that I used to sleep on the fucking dirty ass couch on, and tight. I was like, this is. You come some ways,
Yeah. Do you do that often? I don't want to derail the story. We'll get right back to it. But I don't know if sentimental is the word for it, but I'm very much that way to a fault. Like I'll easily go dark if I let myself. But I have an impossible time not connecting those dots. Like how you just I think this is only a thing because most people, I would say, don't do that. Like connect the idea that, wow, I used to sleep on this couch in this very room, but now I'm here and I'm not sleeping on this couch, but I'm still here and I have this fucking VR headset and it's all just so heavy. I'll sit there and like ruminate on that for like 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I do that all the time. And I think that's why I started that blog, is because we could derail the story. It ends there with the fucking with the headset. That's I'm gonna go home and do that shit. So that's the end. Yeah. But no, man, that's the whole reason. I'm glad you brought that up, because
good.
That's the whole reason I started this this blog thing, or had the desire, because I feel like I've done so much cool shit. Yeah. Right. And I've experienced so many things, and no one gives a shit because they don't know about it.
Yeah.
But I do, and it means so much to me,
Yes.
And I'm constantly glossing over that shit, constantly. That's cool. So the pain. It's rough, man.
But I'm not sure I would trade it. You know what I mean? Like I look at these people who like they would. That's a very small example, but I mean it's weird because Muds, Mighty Muds.
The video guy,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Just yesterday, I was watching his vlog, and the one he put out yesterday, he goes to his childhood home where it used to be, and he talked about how they were evicted because the city wanted to build some shit on top of it, and then they knocked it down, whatever. And he was like real sentimental about it. I wouldn't put it past most people for that to not be a big thing. Not the act of losing your house. Obviously, that would suck for everyone, but just the sheer nostalgia of it. I think nostalgia is something a lot of people don't feel. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I've never really thought about. You don't think people really are getting nostalgic like that?
Maybe not to the extent that I do.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Well, I think we're on the same tier of
that's
nostalgia.
That's why I'm bringing that up.
So maybe probably not, because I don't catch a lot of people quick to like recant about some shit that happened. At least the people I hang out with.
Sure.
So
sure.
I mean, I don't talk to a million people, but like
that's a good point. Yeah, maybe they are out there, and
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Like for example, like songs. Like I'm big on. I love a lot of songs that I'll never listen to again because they take me back to a place that I don't necessarily want to visit. And a lot of times the thing is, those times that I don't want to revisit are the best times. They're not bad times. Bad times are easy to deal with. You just label that, oh, that was a bad time, no matter how bad it was, right? Mm-hmm. And the memories are bad and whatever, but sometimes those good ones, for me, are like the worst ones to go back and think about.
Because you can't have that again.
Exactly.
And that's just a bitch, ain't it?
You feel me? I can tell you feel me. Yeah.
It stinks.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know. It's one of those things, man, where it's like okay, like I don't get depressed, right? But like I always tell people, like, if there was anything I had to go see, like, a person about, like a psychiatrist, psychologist,
Sure.
it would be this struggle that I have with, like, the fact that time is just constantly going.
Yes.
And you're never getting it back, you know? And
Yes.
and that bugs the fuck out of me.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? So yeah, that's the one thing, like, my one, and as you get older, it just goes faster. And I'm not trying to bum you out.
No.
But this is like the one thing that just tortures me. And I noticed it's as a kind of like, not, I can tell we're on the same page about this, but like a byproduct of that is like, I just don't want to waste my time with a lot of shit now. And if someone's wasting my time, I kind of get upset with them, you know?
Me too.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm like, why the fuck, you know?
It's hard to not hurt people's feelings. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. I have a lot of really cool friends who I love and hope nothing but the best for and all that. But I'm not be like, well, I can't waste my time with these people. It's not that. It's just like, I literally can't, because I'll fucking go to a weird place and I don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, it's my thing, you know. It's like, dude, I'll kick my own ass. Like, I was thinking about this today, but I was like, this will never fly, because people probably don't think this way, which, to your credit, kind of proves your point, or at least I agree with your point. But it's like all this time that we're losing, and I don't want to spend too much time on talking about what's going on in the world. Sure. Every guest that you fucking have you're going to spend an hour or two talking about that.
Right.
But like, you know, all this time that we're going to be, to me, like the biggest L in this whole situation is like, this is lost time.
Yes. I completely agree.
And I was like, man, like that, I want compensation for that shit,
yes.
But I'm not going to fucking get it, you know?
Yeah.
But like nobody's lobbying for that. Nobody's like, so, you know, the spring of my, mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Or when I was 27.
Right.
What do you value that at?
Yeah.
You know, because I need my bag, you know?
Yeah, yo, absolutely. And okay, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because I look super reckless right now to a lot of people, rightfully so. Meaning a lot of people, and I don't even need to go into the fact, like, or the idea that is this whole thing overhyped? Is it as dangerous as they say? It all that is neither here nor there. The fact is, most people are staying home because they're afraid. And every time another person leaves their house, that actually makes them afraid too. It's not enough for, it's not like one of those things like, I don't want to get sick or whatever, so I'm going to stay home. In their head, it's like, when you go outside, you not only risk getting sick, but then you like up the chances of me getting sick. And it's like this huge thing, right? So with that, and I'm sensitive to that, but like not enough for me to stay home, because here I am in my podcast studio, you know, and I will continue to do that. And the only way I can explain why I do it is because of that thing. I don't want to lose time. For me, this is what I want to do. I would do this if the fucking earth was on fire, because this is what I want to do, because I don't want to lose that time. It's not up for debate for me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's just where my priorities are.
Yeah, word. I feel that.
You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, I'm here too. 100%. That's what the fuck it is. And this is, I guess, commitment, right, to your craft or whatever the fuck you're about.
Yeah.
For me and you, and
sure.
And we're not gonna go out and have a fucking show. You know, we're not gonna go book a show.
Sure.
But it's justifiable enough. I mean, there's two people, sitting in a goddamn room. Like, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Right. And also, like I was telling my friend, I've kind of financially cool that, I get that this whole thing going on right now, it sucks financially for myself, for a lot of people. There's a lot of things going on. However, something I can't relate to is all the people who are like bored to tears because sports aren't on or whatever, like I have a lot of friends who they're literally going crazy because there's no games to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's cool. I'm not even judging. That's what you value. That's what you like. That's cool. Me, I've never felt more grateful to be a creative because most of my world is right the fuck here in my head, and this shit don't change based on like what's happening out here, right? I'm never bored. I could write something, I could film something, I could turn on the microphone and talk. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't have that, so I can see why most of the world is bored.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's cool that you can empathize with that.
Yeah,
but yeah, as a fellow creative,
Sure.
I'd say and even as just somebody who observes people, I think we're kind of advantageous here because there are people, especially like people a little younger than me. I see them and like their whole thing was going out and drinking and partying, and now it's like what the fuck they did. They didn't have any outlet, and like I shit you not, man, like within the first week or two, like I'm seeing like nudes on Twitter, like these people's nudes and like their shit because they just don't know what the fuck to do with themselves.
Yes.
And they're so used to like going out and getting like, I don't want to say validation. I don't know what it is. I can't empathize that hard, but
I get that.
Whatever it is, like it's it was pretty great, honestly. But
I want my nudes on Twitter. No problem.
I'm cool with that. But it's interesting from like a sociological like kind of point of view, like observing like the way people react to this type
It
of
is
shit.
a hell of an experiment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
There's a giant fucking magnifying glass over society right now, and I feel like I'm on the other side of the magnifying glass. I'm kind of just observing. Like like I said, I'm not going to pretend like I'm unaffected by this, right? Like I'm financially, yes. Am I worried about my grandparents? Yes, of course. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I'm mostly just, like you said, observing people.
And in terms of like boredom and shit, like you're good.
I'm totally good. I've never been better, to be honest, Yeah. So
That's
I don't know.
good, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
I feel fortunate. But try to explain that to people who they just want to watch the Super Bowl. I don't know what to tell you guys, man.
And it's not just creative people; it's anybody with any kind of fucking hobby. It could be, well, I guess painting miniatures is kind of creative because you're painting, but it could be like video games or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
And like it could be anything like that. It's good to have your own shit. It's good to be in your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. On your first album, some of this shit I like the most are the skits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the skits are incredible. I just want to nerd out for a second and like, so are you recording? I want to know the details. Like, who's the other person in the skit that you're talking to at the bar?
Okay, so well, real quick.
Yeah.
You were like, you look back and cringe at anything. I don't cringe on the music, but the skits I might have done a little differently. We rushed them.
Oh, okay.
Like day before we put it out to the distribution company and shit. Like we were like, all right, let's just bang these out. And it's me and my buddy Neil. He's like my best friend.
Okay.
And then my other buddy, he's also like one of my best friends, Frank. There's two of them.
Yeah.
And Frank's the bartender. He's like, you got to get out of here.
Okay.
And then my buddy Neil, he's one of the guys. He comes and I think he comes and gets me. He's like, Greaseball, let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah. That's those two are in a band together, and there's a third guy at the very end who goes, hey, put the music back on.
Yeah.
And that's so those three, they're in a band. They're called Birote the Musical. They're like my favorite band. I think I do. I have the old one.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking El Chavo de Ocho.
Yeah. Dope.
But so those three, I had them on it.
Okay.
And I live with them. We run a little label out of our house together. And
what's the label called?
it's called Cookie World.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like a newer venture of ours. And it's just like it's me and then them. And then we got a few other friends from the local music scene that are just on there.
Okay.
I'm the only rapper though. It's like more like bands and there's a solo artist guy who gets all his guitar looper pedals out and like does really crazy instrumental shit. He goes by Paintings of Flowers. He's also fucking just an amazing. Everybody's really fucking good, honestly.
Yeah.
A lot of talented musicians in that little Pomona kind of LA like local band community.
Yeah.
So they helped me a lot. My buddy Neil, he's very instrumental in helping me kind of like formulate ideas and actually just do them, you know?
That's important to have one of those in your corner.
Yeah, and he doesn't even like he's not even on the fucking, you know, well, he's on the second album.
Okay.
He's on one of the songs.
Okay.
But like he's not trying to rap. He doesn't really want anything from me. He's one of those friends that wants to see you do well. And it's good to have, like you said, it's good to have one of those fucking people on your team or whatever, in your life, rather. I don't fucking have a team. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, so they're always down to help me more or less, unless I'm asking them to do like some really crazy shit, then they might be like, I don't know.
What would be some really crazy shit?
One time I had this idea for the second album. I really wanted. Oh God, this was bad. I wanted everybody to pile in my room, right? And we had a few people over at the house, and I wanted everybody to pile in my room. And I'd written this like really funny kind of chant that I was just gonna have in between songs, and it was like just screaming like, "My dad is a beaner, and my mom is gone, and the hood's got nothing on me," right? And I was just gonna chant. Sorry,
and they weren't down.
So they
you should have called me, bro. I'd have been there in 5 minutes.
So that was like, you know, on that day, that was like that was like, yeah, that's a fucking slapperino right there. We need to do that. Yeah. And a few people were down, but not enough to get it to sound full. The
way
you
wanted it.
It petered out. We didn't get that. That one didn't make
one to the idea graveyard.
Yeah, it didn't make the cut.
Nah, I feel that.
Fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
Can't have them all, I guess, you know.
Yeah, great idea though, for what it's worth.
Would have been a classic.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So in these skits, do you write them or they help you write specifically the skits I'm talking about on that first album?
So it's weird, man, because, you know, I never tried my hand at that. We kind of just spitball an idea, and then as we're recording it, somebody's like, "Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that," and then it kind of just,
I got you.
You know, it organically happens. So there is no storyboarding or anything like that. It's usually a rough idea, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
But once you're on, I'm sorry.
No, please.
Well, like once you're like on like the cutting room floor, that's I swear that's when shit really just starts. No matter what it is, whether it could be recording or like video editing or whatever the fuck. Like once you're there and it's in your hands, you start like, oh well, hey, I can, you know, and that's when shit cracks for me.
Yeah,
you know?
Same. Yeah. I totally get that.
You're not a plan ahead kind of guy.
Nah, and really this is something I'm kind of learning about myself as I get older, like within the last year or so. Like I will overthink something so much that it never really gets off the ground. You know what I'm saying? I'll plan to the nth degree. Details that I'll never remember, right? And lately I've realized like, I think honestly, me doing that is kind of also my insecurity and like maybe not giving myself enough credit that I'm decent on my toes. You know what I mean? I could spitball with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Sure. So, but really you just have to throw yourself in the fire and see how you fare. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking A, man. I think, well, everybody's different. Some people can be very methodical.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, no, yeah, absolutely. Just go for it, dude. Cause when it's there and it's like in your hands, like, and even if you do have a plan, a lot of times we try to do some shit, and then when we're doing it, we're like, fuck that, we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't even. I mean, that's just how some people work. You know, some people are more practical or methodical, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I think it's important too to A, know that people work differently, and B, to accept. You have to know how you work, and then just because like Stephen King is really good at writing books this way, like you might not be Stephen King. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, you know? Like,
as much as I'd like to be.
Oh, shit. Are you kidding me? I would love to be.
But I don't know how methodical he is. I heard that guy wrote like, I think 3 books on at least without remembering it. Like just off mad cocaine, just fucking plowing through them. You heard that?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember which books specifically. I know I was big into his series called The Dark Tower, and I know people say like the first 4 are like his best work ever, and then this motherfucker got hit by a car walking in his neighborhood and it
Right.
fucked himself all up, and then he went back to write them, and I've not read the last three, but I hear they're not as good.
Word, that's a shame. I'm
Yeah.
I'm into those. Stephen King, my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I love Stephen King.
I'm on The Shining right now.
Okay.
But I finished the first Dark Tower. I'm on the second one.
Okay. That's my favorite. My favorite one's the second one. The second one.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people wrestle with those because they're so fucking, especially towards the end. I guess it gets really convoluted.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, he's so good at what he does. I'm not saying he's a bad writer. I'm just saying. Sure. I don't know how methodical he's always been, and obviously he was experimenting with some shit, and he had people that would publish it, so he was fortunate enough to do it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we can self-publish our shit these days, so we can do whatever the fuck we want and put it out.
Man. Yeah.
Fucking, I can go home and fucking scream into the sound hole of a guitar,
right?
And fucking sell it as a sample pack,
right?
And hope somebody buys that shit,
and
right?
They might, bro. Yeah, you never know.
I could put it out, I can fucking put it on Spotify, get the royalties.
Yeah, fuck it. Got nothing but time. Let's do it. No, I get it. What is your process? Do you have as far as like writing songs? I wanted to ask you about that. Are you someone who do you sit down? I'm gonna sit down and write a song today, or is there any sitting down at all? Does shit just come to you?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so like for years and years and years and years since I first met you, fucking I don't even know when, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I probably back then there was nothing. It was just it's like 3 a.m. and I probably put a beat on or make a beat and then write and record it that night.
Yeah.
And then it was very just like chaotic and whatever the fuck happened.
Yes.
And now since the second album, I try to write with like at the very least, I try to write like, okay, this is a cohesive thing. I'm writing an album.
Yeah.
Let's not make it a fucking mixtape. And
okay.
Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like, I want to work on music today. And then lately it's been like, oh shit, I didn't think I was gonna do that today, like with this new shit that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll sit there. And like as I was saying, like nowadays, like I've gotten better and learned how I work. And so what I've noticed, like for instance, the first time I hear the beat, the cadence that I come at it with is usually the strongest. So before I even play the beat now, I'll pull out my phone and I'll hit record, and then I'll play the beat. And that way I can capture my first time hearing the beat. I'll catch the reaction to that.
Amazing.
And then I'll I write weird. I don't do like lyrics and plug them in.
Okay.
I guess it's not weird. Some people do it. Like Lord does that.
I like Lord. Okay. We've talked about her on the show, actually. Me and Devmo did. Yeah, I love Lord. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So Lord like kind of scats the vowel sounds.
Okay.
They don't shit in the studio. They like scat the vowel sound. They do the And so that's me. Like if you ever walk by my door when I'm working on music, like what you're gonna hear is me fucking like when the first time I play the beat, I'm gonna like hear it and I'm gonna come at it with vowel sounds and like kind of like.
So there's no word. I feel like I know what you're talking about. So there's literally no words. You're essentially just, I want the verse to sound this way.
Yeah, or I don't play it back and then there was a short E here, so I'm gonna write a word with a short E. It's just kind of feeling it out, and then I'll get the general vibe, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
I do.
That's kind of how my approach is to it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a little funky, like, because some people I've seen, they'll just write and then be like, oh, give me a beat, I'll plug it in, you know?
Yeah.
And not for me, man. I don't think that's the best way to do it.
I have a good friend, the only friend I ever write music with or have ever written music with. And I feel like it's what you're saying. Like, we'll put on a beat and I'll just be like, you know what I mean? Just kind of doing that. And okay, cool. That was cool how you did that with your voice. Now, what words are we going to say just like that? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Interesting. That's interesting to know.
That's cool. Okay, so we essentially write the same way.
Yeah.
Not
No
everybody.
idea. That's
Not
a whole
everybody
song,
does
but
that.
yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, I got a verse for that, and I'm like, how do you? I'll play a beat for something. And I have a verse. I'm like, how do you have a verse for it? You never heard the fucking beat before. You know.
Yes.
You got to treat it like individually. You know? At least, well, you don't. There's no rules, but I would rather do it that way.
Yeah.
You know? And I would encourage, like, if somebody was like, teach me how to rap, I'd be like, all right, check it out. Here's how you fucking do it, you know?
Yes.
I'm not going to be like, write your verse and then try to squeeze it in, because you can always hear it, right? Like, you can always hear when somebody is fucking, like, just plugging their shit in.
Yes.
And you can, it's at the point now, man, where, like, I can hear people rap and I'm like, oh, I know how you wrote that. And how it sounded in your head.
Yes.
Compared to what I'm hearing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Can you do that shit? You ever?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder if they hear it. Like, do people think like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted it to sound like? You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because I didn't get to catch the whole episode, but I did see a lot of clips of you talking to Thieves. Right. And I think that's what he goes by now, right?
Yes,
Thieves?
I think so.
Thieves is like my favorite rapper in the scene, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That guy.
Exactly.
That guy's insane.
Yes.
So I like to listen to him talk about rap and stuff whenever we get together, which has been a couple of years now. I haven't seen him in a while, but he was talking about that. Like, do you hear yourself? Or he said something that's like, if only you would have just did that, you know? And I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, I just gotta co-sign and continue standing him because, like, it's true, man. It's like it's fucking it's so easy to just like do it the right way. You know?
It's so fun, dude. This is a friend who's not a rapper who listens to you a bunch and who also listens to Sean. I'm not going to call you Thieves. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call you Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, I would have called you Thesis, but you wouldn't change it up on us. So I'm just not, I don't accept it. Buddy. I don't accept it. But if I, like you said, in the scene or whatever you want to call it, there are two people who I know I can have that conversation with, and it's you and him. And it's so funny that you would reference him right now. Like, I know we all speak the same language for whatever reason, you know, how to construct, not how to, but how you construct a verse.
That's some shit. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Sean is dope.
Yeah.
And that's funny, man. That's like, you know, I'm on the team of self-aware rappers.
Yeah. And I think it's a style thing. I know for him, because he straight up said it, and I know for me, because I'm me and I know how I feel, I haven't always, but these days more than ever, I value style and delivery over lyrics. Now, if you can say some dope shit in a really cool way, you're my favorite. You know what I'm saying? But if you can say like nothing at all, but you sound super fucking cool saying it, I'll fuck with you. That's tight to me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because, I mean, we're listening to music. We're not reading it and dissecting it, you know? Yeah. Right? It's supposed to be fun.
Yes.
More or less. I mean, not always. It doesn't have... But, you know, who the fuck... Yeah. That's another thing that, like, it sucks because when you're navigating, like, the underground rap world, you're going to run into a lot of that... headassery of fucking lyrical miracle, you know, and it's cool when you're like 12 and you don't know any better, you know. But we're goddamn adults, man. You know, it's like, how do you? There's such a. I wanted to talk to you about this. There's like such a lack of self-awareness in the fucking local hip hop scene. Yeah, and it blows my mind, like the how like, you know, the Venn diagrams they make you draw in school. Yeah. Like how God, this is gonna sound fucked up.
Oh, I can't wait.
So there's like local rap people, yes, and then there's like the, for lack of a better word, people on the spectrum, okay, the autistic spectrum, yeah, and then in the middle, like all the behaviors that these people share it's just kind of funny, like,
oh shit,
like
I love it. There's a few parallels to be drawn, is what I'm saying. What I'm hearing.
The big one being that it's a lack of self-awareness. I know this sounds terrible.
It doesn't. This is the right place. You're in a safe place.
In my defense, right? Like I've questioned for years. Not so much anymore. I've been like, am I fucked up? Like, am I? And no one has the heart to tell me type shit.
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
You wrestle with that?
I've had that conversation with myself. Yeah, it's important
because you wouldn't know, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm not hating on the scene as a whole. And since luckily, because for my own peace of mind, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm probably not fucked up like that, and not fucked up, but you know what I mean. I do. At a developmental disadvantage.
Yes, there you go.
But like. I just don't know, man. There's these fucking rappers. It's like who are just going off on this lyrical, miracle, spiritual headassery, and it's like, do you not hear yourself? Like, do you not like? Who is this for? You know what I'm saying? That's one question that every songwriter should ask themselves before they record anything. If it's for you, great, you know. And if you want to put it out, that's fine. But don't get mad at other rappers for when your shit ain't fucking getting plays, and don't get mad at people for like wanting to play the turn up shit,
right?
You know, because they're trying to turn up, and you're over here with the fucking, you know, you know, yelling at me and shit, and I can't even understand what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah. I think a lot of the people you're talking about, or people in that group of people you're referring to, I often wonder, like, do you fucking like rap music? You ever think that? Like, do you even listen to rap music? Because it's like, again, like, this is kind of the theme of this conversation. Like, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong. Who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, do you make music? Do you rap because you like rap music? Or do you rap because you like people to know that you're a rapper? It's fine, you know what I mean, either way. But if your main objective is to be like, oh, that guy's a rapper, then you can get away with the lyrical, miracle, spiritual shit, you know what I mean? Because that you are a rapper, you're just not a very good one, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so,
yeah, but who does that though?
A lot of people do that. I know what you mean. I agree, but that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Fair enough. Yeah, man,
but is it a problem? Whatever. Like we've been to a million shows where you're just waiting. Like okay, I'll clap for you. Okay, next guy. Okay, I clap for you. And then the one guy goes on, which is usually either you or Sean or my friends. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, I know this guy is not only. It goes beyond like, oh, he's gonna kill it. It's just like, even if I didn't know you, like, you're good, you know what you're doing. You're good at making rap music. You're good at rapping. Do you know what I'm saying? Have you?
Sure.
How did you get this way?
Yeah, shit. Yeah. Are you legit asking me?
I'm legit asking you. How did you figure this out? It's like a fucking formula that most people not only can't figure out, but they don't even know it exists.
You know, I don't know that it's formulaic, man. Honestly, like, I mean, because I'm always learning too, you know, like, and we're always getting better.
Yeah.
Like, at least I would hope, you know, we're getting better every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, no capping, dude. Like when I first started, I was that fucking guy. I was a total like contrarian rapper. Like I didn't get inspired by dope shit.
Yeah.
When I first started rapping, when I first started like really getting into it, it was like, you remember that song, Ballin'?
Yes, Jim Jones.
Yeah. Yes, okay, that shit was like what was cool when I was in like middle school or whatever, you know. And that's when I really started like getting into it. And I remember just being like, man, I could do so much better than that.
Yeah.
And as a kid with no confidence, right? Like for me to be down to do some shit like rapping, like I must have felt like I was good at it, right?
Completely understand. Yes. Yes.
So it was like this whole contrarian kind of like, oh, fuck that whack shit. You know, it's all about the underground lyrical shit. And then, you know, just as you get older, obviously, you know, just time and practice, you know, you get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And I guess just, I mean, like, honestly, I think a lot of people are capable of being like at least dope. You know, it just takes like some self-awareness. And like I said, like well, obviously passion. And I mean, I don't know that, like I said, it's not formulaic really, but like if you have a little self-awareness and you can ask yourself like, hey, who is this for, and where does this song fit into the world of music, you know? And
right.
it's like, well then you're already halfway there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I guess the rest is just like I said, just experience, man, you know?
Yeah. I want, because you said as a kid when you had the epiphany, like, yo, I could do better than this. That isn't necessarily in line with someone who you would identify as you said you were, how did you say? You were, not insecure, but
yeah, like a not very confident kid.
Yeah. Low self-esteem, maybe. Would that be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hated myself when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, I was just kind of tiptoeing around, like, so you hated yourself, right? But since you brought that up, yeah. How much of that? And this is like kind of a rhetorical question. How much of that is directly responsible for how good you've gotten? Because I feel that way. When people, in the rare occasion that someone will compliment me on something I do, like, you're so good at this, you've gotten so good. It's like, I really am just like super duper, like, my self-esteem is so low that I'm competing with myself. I'm like, no, you can do this. You can do this. It's cool when people like it. Obviously it's cool when people like it, but like, I'm my audience. And that's not to say like, oh, I do this for me. I do this for me so that like we can prove to ourselves that no, we can do this, because otherwise we're just going to keep hating ourselves.
Shit, man. I've never really asked myself that question. Like, you kind of opened my eyes to that. I mean, I think definitely there's probably a correlation to that. Which is kind of cool.
It is.
You know, it's like the redemption for the fucking for the downtrodden and the ugly and the poor is like, hey, like, you know, if you can get really good at this thing, maybe you won't feel so bad about your fucking self, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how I felt directly about it, but I can definitely say that was the ignition in the fucking car, you know?
Right.
That was the spark and the gas that fucking set the bitch off, because, like I said, like, with having no confidence, right? Being like shy and shit, you better be fucking dope if you're gonna be fucking rapping, right? Like,
yes.
So that probably pushed me a lot, you know? Yeah.
Were you a shy kid growing up?
Yeah, 100%. Like, fucking.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, because I wouldn't have guessed that about you at
and
all.
Likewise, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, yeah, fucking the worst.
Yeah.
Socially awkward, and
sure.
And I still am, to an extent.
Same. Yeah.
But, you know, as you get older, you learn how to kind of, you know, traverse around these hurdles that some people just never had.
Yeah.
But
not only do some people never have those hurdles, but a lot of people have them and they just stay on the other side of them. And no disrespect to them. You know I have several people in my head, like my personal friends or whatever, but it's, for whatever reason, people like you, people like me, we have whatever they have, whether that's low self-esteem or just whatever you want to call it. But we also have just enough of whatever else you want to call it to, like, all right, let's see if we can get over that hurdle. I don't know what is on the other side of that, but I'm like super curious. Furthermore, I think I can get over that hurdle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the desire is a tough thing to get on its own, you know, because like you look at some people, you have friends, I have friends, and you look at them and it's like, don't you want to, you know, like, don't you want more? Then you know, you're missing out on shit, you know, and it's I don't know, I can't remember like if I did or not. I think I did, you know, I must have wanted to get better at shit like that, because I must have wanted to, you know, be less awkward and people to like me more and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
So I must have, you know, just acted on it one day. I don't know, but.
Right.
And then sometimes I wrestle with the fact, I'm like, is it my place to help these people? Because I got a couple like younger homies and I'm like, is it my place to kind of put them on game and shit? And then, I don't know. You know, that's a whole other conversation. But
Sure. But
as like my own person, like, it's definitely been an experience, like, just kind of like, you know, coming out of, there's an expression for it, you know, coming out of your shell and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Some people don't, I guess, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's for myself, it's been important, not easy, only because like I'm always 100 miles an hour. Like I'm a creature of momentum. If we start a little bit, like that ball's just gonna start rolling down the hill or whatever the expression is, and then like before you know it, like I've gone super far. Not like in a success. That's not like a metaphor for success, but I just mean like I've done something for so long that you look back and you're like, I'm not even sure why I even started doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it was for me with music. This is cool, but like music kind of taught me. If music taught me nothing else, it taught me to kind of take inventory like regularly. Kind of ask yourself, okay, are we still having fun? Okay, now why are we doing that? I mean, if if your answer is yes, I'm having fun still, cool. No more questions. But if it's no, it's actually less fun than it is fun, then okay, so what are our motives now? What are we doing this? Do we hope for this to eventually be fun again, or what are we doing? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Because momentum is God in where I'm from. In my head, momentum is God because that shit will take you as far as you let it. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So
That's good. I like that. Take inventory.
yeah, just like assess.
Yeah, self assessment.
Yeah.
No, that's
So-
good though. That's good. That's a good thing to practice. Is somebody like in your position who's just like so prone to just getting fucking like avalanched with whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's
Yeah.
something you pick up. Like,
Yeah. Your song, is it Brown Skin Martha?
Brown Skin Martha.
Can you
yeah.
explain that song? Because I fucking love that song too.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was more. And thank you,
Of course.
for loving it. I wish there was more to it.
Yeah.
I was in that house when I was sleeping on the couch, my current home, and I just got drunk one day, and I had my computer with me that day. I didn't live there, but I had my shit with me.
Yeah.
And I made a beat, and then I did, one of those. I was like, "Oh, Martha," did the boom, and then I just kind of wrote it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to tell you that, there was like this whole thing, this real life person, but it's really not,
That's actually more fascinating to me.
Yeah, well, okay, so no, I'm kind of remembering now. It wasn't really a person, right? But it was me coming to terms with the fact that because I was seeing this girl at the time, and I was coming to terms. She was kind of tough.
Yeah.
Like she didn't like kick my ass or nothing, but like she would
Yeah.
she wanted to join the military, and she liked thugs and she liked gangsters, and I was still kind of wrestling with the social conventions of women are supposed to like dainty shit, but I mean she liked me, so
right.
So I was like, okay, I get it, but you don't think about shit like that. Like the big tough guy might not think like, oh, why does this delicate girl like me? You know, like you're not empathizing with that.
Yes.
And
interesting.
So like, yeah, I was kind of wrestling with the fact that like women like gangsters and women can be gangsters and shit like that, And so that was kind of like that. When I play that song, I'm like, this is a song about a chola, and then that's it, and then the beat fucking comes on, and then I sing the song. But like,
right,
yeah, that was kind of like, I guess, where that mode came from. You know, it was just wrestling with that. You don't learn that in movies. The big tough guy always loses.
Yes.
Popeye always wins.
Popeye always wins.
Not whatever.
Bluto, something. Yeah.
Olive oil ain't going for him.
Nah.
But in real life, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some big motherfucker is gonna TYB you.
Right. Right. That's actually more impressive to me because, like I said, I'm a fan of that song, but just that you could kind of just pull this stuff. I mean, I guess it's not any different than someone like writing a novel, you know what I mean? A work of fiction, you know what I mean? There's always like little hints of, well, this is kind of inspired by like an actual person or an actual event, but like I took my liberties and, So yeah,
Yeah, no, the guy who grew up in the hood could write a song about a chola.
right,
You know?
right. Yeah, exactly.
It's cool, man.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
don't stop liking the song. Please.
No, I like it more now. That's tight. That's super tight.
Word, thank you, man.
Yeah. So like, I'm just gonna like. So when you say like, I heard about your cousin's dislocated elbow or whatever, or is that?
Oh, how's your cousin Joe's dislocated elbow?
Yeah. So are these real people? Was there an elbow dislocation?
That's like me, because my
Okay.
real name is Joe.
Okay.
And my shoulder used to dislocate.
Okay.
Back in the day, I got in a fight one time, and I don't know if you've ever dislocated anything.
I've not.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but when you dislocate something, you're really prone to it happening again,
Yeah, I know
right?
that. Yeah.
Like I'd be like writing,
Yeah.
or like I was making a beat one time, and my shit would just pop out.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, no, so that's it. So I guess that's like me, you know.
Yeah.
But instead of shoulder, I used elbow.
Yeah. You in another song, you said your sister was the one who turned you on to hip hop, right?
Yeah.
How old were you at that time?
Oh God, man! Since I was like 5, 6 years old, man.
Okay. Yeah. And what were some of these first records you're listening to?
Oh, dude, she used to play a lot of like that hood shit, man.
Yeah.
That real hood shit. My sister, you know, we were growing up in the hood, you know, and then my sister's hanging out in fucking San Bernardino, bringing dudes home, hanging out, and then I would hang out with them and listen to all their music. And so it was a lot of like really ghetto shit, like fucking like Sugar Free.
I was just gonna say, like real ghetto shit.
Yeah, like real gross, like, and not gross, you know,
Kind of gross, but cool gross.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
Sugar
what you mean.
Free, DJ Quick,
Yeah.
shit like that. Too
Yeah.
short. The sexy rap, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is funny because you don't hear any of that in like the shit that I make, really.
Yeah.
But that's what we came up with. That, and like, you know, like when the fucking Slim Shady
Sure.
shit came out,
That changed
you know,
everything for everyone. Yeah.
that was like, oh my God, you know, this is a gross ass rap record.
Yeah.
When fucking, you know, Sweet Black Pussy was fucking
Yes.
way older.
Yeah.
But like,
A lot of people don't know Sweet Black Pussy. The video was crazy too. It was between chicks' legs. Like, yeah, I remember
I didn't know there was a video for that.
Man, yes, there was. I didn't know
listened
till
to
I
that
was
one.
older. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was the shit. I remember we would pull up, we'd be cruising through the fucking Dino or wherever.
Yeah.
And I was like little, man. I must have been like first grade, and we'd pull up to a red light, and I would always like recline like down at a red light because I didn't want people to see us listening to this fucking ratchet ass music. Like, I remember being embarrassed, like, hey, like, we're not supposed to be listening to this shit,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But like, now I look back and I'm like, that was tight as fuck. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Those are good moments.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And so, at what point can you put an age or a date on when you were like, I think I can? I don't know. Like, did you just wake up one day like, I think I could rap too, or had you like written poetry or before? Like, what was the transition between being a listener and then being a maker, a contributor?
Yeah, no, it's a weird one, man. I was in 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to listen to a lot of like Eazy-E and like, I don't know, I'm sure you remember back then it was like G Unit, and then there was remember the GU Not shirts?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Remember that shit? I would
Yep.
love to get one of those, man.
Me too.
You can't. Oh, I bet you could probably find one on you.
I'm big into the game, bro. Game,
Yeah.
That's
Game
when-
was great,
his
right?
whole
The
shit,
documentary.
Yep. Yes.
And him and 50 Cent were cool, and so I would hear parts of songs that I liked. The DVR had just come out. That was like the hot shit.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friend, we would, you know, because back when music videos were like the thing, you know, we would DVR those, and I would listen to them, and I would go and or I'd listen to CDs, whatever, Eazy-E, gangster rap, whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
And I would write the lyrics down of other people that I like, because I was like, oh, this is tight. Like I want to be able to. This bar is so fire. I didn't know it was a bar back then, but I was like, oh, this part's tight. I like the part where he gets a little technical with it.
Right.
And then like after fucking writing, I'm like, man, like, this is kind of arduous. Like I'm just gonna try to write my own shit. You know, I'm already doing the motion of writing raps. They're just not mine. You know?
Right.
So that's legit how I got started doing it.
Dude, that's dope.
It's a weird way to get into it, right? Like
it's
most people don't do that, but I think it's unique. I think that's kind of neat. You know, most people don't start by like not plagiarizing. It's not like I was putting it out as my own, but I'm just like a stenographer, like a rap stenographer, basically.
Right. Yeah, and that's something people we've talked about that before too. Like other people I've had on here, like people from our era, we had. I mean, you could still read lyrics, especially with like the invention of like Genius online. You know what I mean? But like back in the day when you would get like in my day, it was like cassette tapes or later on, obviously CDs. Like that was part of the experience. It wasn't just like I'm going to buy this album and then listen to it. It's like, no, I'm going to buy the album. I'm going to open it. I'm going to put it on, listen to it. I'm going to open, I'm going to smell the booklet. I'm going to read all the lyrics. You know what I mean? I'm going to see who produced it. Like it was a whole fucking experience. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of that, I mean, obviously people don't do that now and there's still like people who make music. So I'm not saying that was like necessary, but I find more often than not, like people from my era, from your era, that we all have that in common. You know what I mean?
The geeking out on the lyrics and
even just like literally the structure of like you write this many words and then you go down a line, write this many and then go down a line. You know what I mean? You don't just write like you would a paragraph. You know what I'm saying? I remember being like tripped out about that. Like, why did they write it that way?
Yeah, you know it is a little strange is the way it's formatted.
Yeah, it's tight.
That'll catch you because it's not a book anymore. It's not written like a book. You know, it's like this is written in verse. I think is the fucking I don't know,
something like that. Yeah, but some shit.
You know, it's to kind of hopefully I don't know, make you restore a little faith. One of my favorite trap rappers, if not my favorite trap rapper, Father. I don't know if you fuck with him.
Yeah, how do I know? Is he from LA?
No, I think he's from Atlanta, but he had the wrist. That's his shit. He's done a lot of shit, but he's also kind of like he drops shit and then he goes away. Anyway, I think he just dropped a new album.
Okay,
some fan I am. And in the comments, in the Instagram comments, somebody was like, "Can you put the lyrics on Genius already?" And then Father commented back and was like, "Yeah, bet, you know."
Yeah. And
I thought that was dope that people are like geeking out on lyrics like that, even if it's like for like kind of ratchet trap music. It's
That's
like,
dope though.
It's like, it's cool. Okay, cool. There is still the nerds out there who are into shit like that,
right? And as a creator, from his perspective, he's probably like, I didn't realize there was an audience for that.
He's like, yeah,
I'm happy to.
I'll do it. And he reacted,
sure.
and, you know.
Yeah, that's tight.
And that really made me, that was like 2 days ago. That really made me smile because it's cool. And no, dude, don't get me wrong, man. The opening up a CD and then hoping that it was one with the book, because not always. Yeah. You feel kind of gypped when it didn't have it.
Fuck yes, I did.
You know?
Yeah.
It was like,
it's like 2 panels. It's just like, I hate it. Yeah.
You're fucking pulling out the backing that the CD itself goes on to see if there's hidden shit in there.
Yeah, sometimes there
was, yeah.
Like Bone Thugs were big on that. Like they had like all these hidden things. Like, fuck, this is weird.
Or
cool.
Totally forgotten thing when you had to play a certain thing through entirety to hear the hidden tracks and CDs. Remember that shit?
Yes. At the end, like the last track would be like 11 minutes long, but the song is only like 3 minutes long. So you got to wait like just with
you'd have
like
to get air. I don't know how the fuck they did that.
Yeah.
Like, that's because I remember it's a stupid CD to have, but everybody had the CD back in like 99. It was like a Limp Bizkit CD.
I for sure have it.
That one had a hidden track on it. It was like number 9, but you couldn't skip through 8 to go to 9. I don't know, some fuck shit like that.
Oh, okay.
It would only play if you listen to the song before it type shit.
Exactly. It was all just one long
some
track.
Weird old late 90s technology that they were implementing on those CDs back then.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool though, you know.
That's so funny you said like it's a stupid CD to have, but everyone has it, because that's fact, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone I know talks about Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
but
everybody
like,
had that.
Everyone's kind of guilty about it.
Well, we look back now, you know, and we're like, oh god, this is kind of bad, but
it's so good it's bad. It's so bad it's good kind of one. Now it is.
We ain't forgot, you know. I mean, that's trends, bro. Shit comes and goes. You know? And
absolutely.
fucking A.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my time beating myself up about it. You know,
for sure.
That was the shit back in the day. Whatever.
For sure, man.
Right?
For sure. I do not apologize for anything I've ever liked.
Fuck no. Yeah, that's good shit. That's grown man shit. That's grown adult shit.
Yeah,
rather.
you got to get past that. There was a lot of time I spent like feeling guilty. Like I don't believe in guilty pleasure. I just believe in pleasure.
Fucking hey, man. You know Thank you. Yeah. As you get older, I say that so much because I don't know. I just feel like I've really come into my own like in this past year, and I'm really realizing a lot of like I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm not ashamed of anything that I like. Like why would you be, right? Like it's, and I know you don't wrestle with this. At least it doesn't seem like it. Like you seem like you're like, ah, fuck you. I like what I like. You know.
Nowadays, I had to get through that for sure.
When you're younger, it's like that's one of those hurdles that I think everybody and their mama has. You know.
Yeah.
It's just like man, you know, you whatever you're into, you might be a little ashamed of it. My buddy, the guy I was telling you, he does the pedals. He makes it on the label. My buddy Drew. He said. Passion looks good on your face. And I thought that was a really cool quote because it's like, dude, it's like there's really nothing you stand to lose from expressing an interest or a like for something. If anything, it's gonna make you look good.
Sure.
You know, and it's just sad that it's so backwards, you know.
That's a cool way to put it.
Like you see somebody get excited about some shit that they're really into, it's like now you're into it just because you like watching them talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, you know.
And furthermore, only toxic people I have no space for in my life, only those people are the ones that be like, look how happy he is. Fuck this guy. What does he know?
Yeah.
Fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, fuck all that.
Why can't people just like things?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I've gotten away from that. And I've gotten away from caring to be the first to know some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't front, like if you were to show me some shit right now that like the rest of the world happens to know about, but I'm late to the party or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't front and be like, oh yeah, I know that. I'd just be like, nah, bro, like I can't know everything. Fuck, there's a lot, like all the things, there's a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, fuck all that. You want to be surrounded with people that are like, if not that, then like happy to be put on game or like geek to be proven wrong. You know, that's another one.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, bro, like fuck it. Thank you for showing me that. You know,
right.
Those are the people you want to be around. No doubt.
These are relatively healthy people, or they're just a better time to be around. If
at the
nothing
very
else.
least, you make me happier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, whatever. We can hang out. I guess. But
right.
No, real shit, man. That's good. Yeah, see, it's something I don't know, I wrestled with. Like, dude, like it's like okay, like my new thing. I got the fucking headset at the house right now.
Yeah.
You can't look cool playing with it.
No, you can't.
And you need a lot of you need a lot of space to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I can't take this bitch in my room and like just be in private. I have to be out on blast.
Right.
And I just don't give a shit. You know, I was fucking playing this rhythm game in the morning, just like doing these and shit, like all over the fucking place. Like, and I know I could hear footsteps behind me, just people walking by, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck right now, bro. Right. I'm having the time of my life. Like,
good for you.
It's 9 a.m. I probably burned 400 fucking calories before you even made a pot of coffee. So, so what's up? You know? Like,
yeah. That's so dope.
Yeah.
At what point do you meet Life? Shout out MC Life, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Life, man. He and I go way back, man. We met. We were in my first not real job. My first fucking whatever teenage job. I worked at a little art store, a little graffiti store in downtown Riverside. I had a big homie kind of put me on, and then me and Life were mutual friends. We're in the same graffiti crew.
Okay.
Back when I did that dumb shit, and that's how I met Life. We were 16 years old, and he was a little older than me. I think he was like 18.
Okay.
Gosh, I guess it's been about 10 years, just about.
Yeah. So just like through the graffiti crew?
Through the graffiti crew, we're in the same crew, and then I met him. God damn, I forgot about that. That's how we met, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the same crew, and then
were you both already rapping at that point?
No, I was.
Okay.
I was rapping more than writing graffiti. I sucked at graffiti. I just worked at the shop, and like I didn't give a shit about graph the way that a lot of people did.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is rap. This is what I do.
Right.
You know, if I can get away with painting on the side, whatever, for fun, that's cool. But Yeah, he approached me about 2 years after knowing him and was like, "Hey, I want to start rapping."
Okay.
So I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll teach you." And I pretty much did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's how it started. Yeah, we were in the same crew, and then kind of just showed him the way, and now
Yeah.
he's an ambitious person.
Yeah.
I remember when I met him at the graph shop. My boss is like older cat.
Yeah.
He didn't like him. He's like, that guy. He'd come into the shop and he's like, that guy right there. He likes to tell stories. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he talks a lot or some shit like that.
Oh, interesting.
And I remember like thinking like, yeah, I could see that. Because even back then when we were like kids, life was always talking about some shit, man. He's like, we're going to go paint this mural. We're going to need 50 cans and we're going to go fucking paint this big ass mural. He didn't even have the fucking artistic fucking skill to do, but his fucking heart and his head was in it.
That's huge.
And that's how he's always been.
Yes. I love that, actually. I love that. Yeah. He's a good dude. He's always been nothing but super nice to me and really fucking accommodating. Like, if he, no matter what, because like I was playing his shows when, I think we all played. It was like this weird place in Riverside. It was like a coffee place, and you had to go downstairs in like this basement.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Back to the grind. Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah,
yeah,
and
staple.
That was back in the day, and like there might have been, I don't know, 20 people at the show, but all he knew is like, yo, this is my show that I put together, and I'm gonna fucking treat you like you're an artist on this thing. So you need anything, you let me know. Even before he had anything to like give necessarily, you know what I'm saying? And now he has these huge yeah, right. Even now he has like these huge sold out shows, and he hasn't lost that at all. It's only like increased. So
yeah, it is pretty interesting the way, and he always had a lot of admiration for you. I remember.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, it's crazy to like. I mean, we don't tell you the truth, man. Like me and him don't really hang out or talk even like at all, and we haven't for like years and years. Like I never switched up on him, and he never switched up on me. Like we're cool as fuck. If I called him and was like, "Hey, I need this," like he'd be there, and likewise. But like we just don't. We just socially we don't kick it really.
Sure.
And it's not like I don't fuck with that fool. It's just, life happens and shit. Dude's got a fucking kid.
Yeah.
And I want to be out fucking dyeing my hair green and fucking going to punk shows. And, and believe it or not, he used to be into that shit too. Me and him used to go to a lot of punk shows and shit like that. But, man, he's just always been ambitious, man. I gotta, a lot of people like to say what they want about that guy, but you can't deny that motherfucker is one of the hardest working and like driven people that you'll ever see.
Absolutely. I've definitely heard my fair share of people, say this and that about him, but it's no coincidence that every one of those people are far less successful than he is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So fuck him, right?
Yeah, and some of these are my good friends. I love you guys. You know what I'm talking about. But I've been 100% happier in life the day I decided to apply all the energy I was even like, without even realizing it, subconsciously putting into like either hating on people or being jealous of people or all the ways one could expend their energy. Once I had like balled that up, I'm like, I'm just going to put it into shit I like. It's been happier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a better way.
Yeah. Well, it sounds easy to do.
Yeah.
And it sounds obvious, but there's a reason that people wrestle with it. I don't know why. I can't advocate why people hate on shit, but like
it has a lot to do, I think, with the company you keep. Like, and I'm not even gonna say like I don't cut people off, but it's just like I'm gonna spread my time out a little more, like spend less time here and more time there. You know what I mean? Like,
oh
yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good thing too, to not need company to the point where you get to like choose like, okay, well, I don't need to be around that,
Yeah.
And like I said, like being someone who has been like, kind of shy and insecure, like that'll breed codependent behavior,
right?
Where you're happy to just be around. And you're like, yeah, I'll talk shit, I'll talk some shit, whatever. And it's cool. Like being able to just walk away from shit and be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's like a superpower to be honest.
It really is.
Yeah, yeah, little superpowers you don't realize you have until I don't know if it's an age thing. You get older and you realize. Like,
I think it is.
it is, man. It has to be. That's what wisdom is, right?
Yeah.
That's the great irony of life.
Yeah.
It's the biggest cliche ever. Like, if of course now I don't know how it goes, but the gist is if I knew then what I know now, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
yeah,
It's a cruel joke, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
It really is. But hey, I mean, fuck it. You could acknowledge it and laugh at it, you know. It's
Sure.
fine.
Speaking of cruel jokes, where are you on God? We don't have to talk about it. You want one?
No,
other
yeah.
beer?
Could we break and then could I use the little boys' room?
Absolutely. Real quick, while I was in the restroom, I remembered that I think it was maybe a couple years. It was at least a couple years. I dare say 5 years ago. You and I went through this weird thing where we'd see each other at shows, and you know what I'm talking about. Like we wouldn't like say hi to each other. But it was like it was purely on some like
Sounds familiar.
It was just purely on some like antisocial, like not at all, like it obviously like wasn't even slightly it wasn't like we were beefing or no shit, but like
Obviously, right.
yeah, obviously like we don't even, especially at that point, we didn't know each other enough to even for there to even be beef in general. But like I would, because Life is the more talkative one, so I'd show up and what's up, Life, whatever, and I'd see you and you'd see me, and we'd just kind of like just on some awkward guy shit. Like, fuck, I don't know, should I go up and say hi, and then
Oh man,
and like I'll go say hi later. I'll go, and then before you know it, like 4 hours have passed. I'm like, well, now it'd be real weird because we like looked at each other like 7 times.
I can't go now.
Yeah, so fuck it. So you go to, and then like I think that happened 3 times, and then I think I hit you up on Facebook or something, or I posted some shit on Facebook and tagged you. Like I'm beginning to think me and
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if I said like I'm beginning to think like we're never gonna talk to each other again, but we're just gonna look at each other from across the room from now
something
on.
like that.
Yeah, and then I did a photo shoot with you in Life, and you came out of your house. And you walked up to Life, and I was standing right there, and you're like, "Hey, can you tell Zooks that I'll be ready in 5 minutes?" Like talking to me through him. Yeah, it was a
Cool.
thing. You had to be there. Anyway,
That was the last time. Other than the Hyro show, that was the last time I think I'd seen you.
oh
Was
yeah,
when
just
we
recently.
did that
Yeah.
photo shoot down in downtown Riverside.
That's true. That was a minute ago.
Hey, dude, that was almost 4 years ago. If I'm not
Yeah,
no, like 3, maybe. Okay, maybe
3?
4. Fuck.
Yeah, between 3 and 4 for
Okay,
sure.
okay. It was. I did a video. February. I did a video, and then Stale wanted to fuck with me, and then
That's what it was. Yeah.
and that would have been early 2017.
Oh yeah,
so
that's when we went to the graveyard.
3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I shot you in the graveyard. Okay, so 3 years ago.
Okay, that's not so bad. I was
It's
like,
that time thing you're talking about though. Like,
yeah, I was
fucking
like,
just
God
don't
damn,
stop. Yeah.
please don't let it be 4 years. Oh no,
The only thing worse than 4 years is 5 years.
5 years. Yeah, and that's when we did the written fucking interview. Oh no.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my blog at the time, the 7 questions thing. Yo, this is crazy because I was just talking to Bonnie Blue. When I do things, I always have my people that I want to include, and thus far, and I didn't plan it this way, but you guys are always next to each other. So it's always you, Sean, and Bonnie, and like I just did Bonnie, and then obviously I just did Sean, and now
man.
you're here. So I don't know.
I love them both too.
They're great people.
They're great people.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely like
Shout out Bonnie Blue and Sean.
yeah, and Sean. Yeah, I won't call you Thesis. I won't call you Thesis, but I will call you Sean. I'll call you the name your mama gave you.
They're great.
Yeah, they are, man. They're like my real friends in the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, you can't help but just like them both. I mean, they're likable people.
That's what's been cool about this, just being in the scene, to keep calling it that. Like, I went to a very small school, and before that, I grew up in a very small town. So I have a very tightly knit circle of friends, only because there aren't very many people anyway.
Sure.
You know, so I a lot of those friends, they just kind of stay in that circle. They never branch out, and that's totally fine. But when I decided to start doing music, and then that turned into like photography, and then whatever the fuck it is I do now, like I have all these people who are like, God, like our kids know each other and shit like that. Like it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, yeah, that's great, man. Yeah,
yeah, it's fun.
I mean, you would have thrown away a lot of those school friends anyway if you had a big high school.
Oh yeah, exactly.
At least that's what, I don't know. My brother told me it kind of goes that way. I didn't really go to school, so
okay.
Yeah.
So what do you mean you didn't go to school? So
I quit going I just quit going.
Right.
When I was like 13.
Yeah? What grade is that? The like 7th grade?
I think I was 9th grade.
Ninth grade. Okay.
Yeah, I just quit going. But I mean, I had my friends, from before that, and we're still cool, a lot of us.
Yeah.
And like all those friends that my friends went and made, like they don't fuck with them. You know what I mean? Right. And like, my brother told me the same thing. He's like, you don't want to run into people from high school and shit. So yeah. So it's dope that like, yeah, like I totally feel that. Like you kind of have like this extended, let's call it an extended network this time. So we don't have to keep going back to that word.
That's good. I love that. But, extended network.
Of people.
Yeah.
And it's through music, which is dope.
I was going to say, really, it's almost ideal because all these people I hang out with that I grew up with, that's probably the only reason. I mean, shout out to them. But like, we don't have much in common aside from the fact that we've known each other for a really long time. But with this people in this extended network, it's like at least I know we have that in common. We like music, we do music, we perform. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's what's cool.
Yeah, and even if it's not like the people on stage per se, there's always like those people that are vending, and then you got people in the audience, and then all their people, and it's enough people, man.
Absolutely,
it's enough to know,
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot of love to have in your life, whether you want it or not.
Yeah, Yeah. Were you ever in a band? I know you said you used to go to punk shows, but were you ever in a punk band or anything?
Not really growing up. I'm in one now.
Okay.
But it's just for fun. Yeah. And like they're on the label too, technically. Like we did our EP through the distribution. Okay. But yeah, not like we never did. Just went to shows. Yeah. I was always rapping. So
I got you. Yeah. What do you do in your band now?
I play a bass.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I had a feeling that was going to be the answer. Yeah.
Yeah. I love a bass. It's a good instrument.
Is it weird to, having been on the mic your whole life, is it weird to, I don't want to say like take a back seat, but like to kind of blend in more than
I like it.
Shine.
I like it. I don't get nervous for those shows.
Oh, interesting.
I don't really get nervous for rap shows either, but like. Okay. But like playing bass, especially in a punk band where it's like it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Like even if the guitarist fucks up or the drummer, it's fine.
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's just pure fun. Yeah. And that's why we did it.
That's kind of what punk is. It's just like, we're just gonna, no one claimed that we're like masterclass musicians. Yeah. We're just making a bunch of noise and we hope you like it.
At our age, it's either you're a kid and you're like angsty and shit and you got some shit to get out. Okay, even then it's fine. You guys suck. That's great. Right. Now it's like, okay, you can be a little more pronounced musicians if you want, but it's just like, they're just having fun. Yeah. It's nobody's up there fucking letting some aggression out, really. Yeah. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I can only speak for myself, but sure. We have a blast, man. It's a good time.
That's good. Yeah. That's dope. It's good to have, it's so dope to still have fun at this age and as long as both of us have been like making things, you know what I mean? Sure. It's cool to like, and every once in a while you got to shake shit up. Like, I'm going to be in a punk band. I'm gonna do a podcast. You know what I mean? It's like Absolutely. Not traditionally the thing that we're known for doing. You know what I mean? But it keeps the fucking cobwebs out the corners. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Write a blog.
Yeah. What's your blog? I keep forgetting to ask. What's the name of the website? If you want to put it out.
This ain't even a plug. I was sitting there in front of the thing, like I said, just not even thinking about it. I called it Lard for Thought.
Lard for Thought. Okay.
Lard for Thought. Yeah.
Okay. .com.
.com. Sick. I got the .com.
Okay, yeah,
they were important. Like, "What do you want your website to be called?" And it's like, so I was sitting there with like the forum open, and I was like, "This is totally something that somebody's like stewed over for months can't wait to fucking do it." I'm just like, whatever. I'm gonna write what the fuck I write on there, Yeah. I fucking opened up Photoshop, made a little typography fucking logo, and fucking run that shit.
That's all it has to be.
Who gives a shit?
Dude, I'm that guy traditionally who I will take months and months and months and months worried about the URL, the everything, the look of it, whatever. But like, yo, I like that. Just that you're like, fuck, I want to write. How do we do it? Let's do it. You know what I mean?
You know, what's fucked up is too, I was like, wouldn't it be a bitch if I put so little effort into this and it just took the fuck off?
I feel like that happens more often than not.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm doing it, you know, and there's people who are spending times, months and months and months and months just planning and not doing shit, you know?
I don't know if that's coincidental or what. Sometimes I think, am I putting more energy into the packaging than I am the actual product? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And is that in turn the reason shit doesn't crack as much as I'd want it to? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no answer. Just some shit I think about sometimes.
You just gotta fucking reflect on that one.
Yeah, take inventory. Exactly. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's a good question to ask yourself, man, and torture yourself over.
Yeah, you know, that's one more thing to fucking lose sleep over all night.
Yeah.
Have you always written?
No, man, not really. Like I really wanted to just start doing it because, like I said, I want to. This is me taking inventory.
Sure.
But not of my work, creative works or anything like that. This is me taking inventory of my life, and like I want to be able to have this shit to look back on.
Yes.
I'm tired of not being able to have records of things, so that's why I'm doing it. You know.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. So just real quick, going back to school, because that's I had thought of that at talking to you about that. Like, you strike me as someone who is like, it wouldn't surprise me if in the classroom you're the dude who like you're smarter than the teacher, but you're always getting in trouble all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's a huge compliment. In a
oh,
way.
Cool. I'm glad you take it as a compliment. Like, you're just like, you're intelligent, but not necessarily scholarly, but only because you don't care about school enough to be scholarly. Do you know what I'm saying?
Man. I mean, you know, I don't know if I was ever to the point where I could have been like to at that point, you know. But no, I was a good student when I was going. Yeah, I wasn't bad at school. Like I was fucking pretty good at it.
Okay.
And then I guess, you know, just being like, I guess a little bit of an arrogant kind of kid, I was just like, fuck this shit, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Among other things, you know. So,
sure. No, I get it.
Like life happened, like the whole thing with my dad dying, and then like, you know, mom not really being like around to like, you know, get on my ass about going to school. Mm-hmm. And you know. And then I got like my first girlfriend ever, so, and we would like ditch school, and then it's like,
throw
okay,
that in the mix.
you want to go have sex all day, or do you want to spend what is it 6 hours?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So you know, I was like, whatever. It's not, but you know, by no means, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I was too smart for school. Like, I should have. I regret not going. I wish I would have stayed. You know.
Sure.
But I did get some cool experiences out of it. Like, you know, like a fucking 13, 14 years old, I was running around hanging out with fucking homeless men.
yeah.
Drinking beer.
Drinking in the field. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, you know?
That's so tight.
I look back and I'm like, who let me do that shit?
Dude, I have so many of those moments.
Where you're just like, wait, what the fuck,
fucking raised by wolves.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize I was being raised by wolves until like I look back. You know what I mean? But
fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Just one of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could equate it to like some trauma, you know, in a way. It's like there's people who have gone through like because that was fun, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
There's people who've gone through some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
There's
people that have quote unquote bad childhoods that they actually don't like.
Yeah.
My childhood, I was talking to Noah James about that. Like, yo, my childhood was lit. That's what he said. He's like, I was in a foster home. My mom was a drug dealer, whatever. And my shit was my child was lit. That's how I feel, you know. Like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, don't fucking. You know, no harm, no foul. I guess,
for sure.
But it is still like, no, you probably shouldn't be out in the street drinking, you know?
Right. Yeah. Especially now I have a 12-year-old, and it's like the weirdest thing is like, I want you to have as much fun as I did without doing any of the fun shit I did. Like, I realized that can't happen, you know?
Do you ever look at your son and draw parallels to like when I was his age, I was doing this, this,
dude,
and that?
fucking only every day of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like, maybe it's good that he's not, you know, drinking with hookers and shit like I was when I was 12 and 13.
Damn,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my
maybe.
goodness. Drinking with a hooker. Wow.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling our upbringing wasn't entirely, like, wasn't too different in terms of, like, our social circles. Yeah. So
that's funny. Yeah, we have a lot in common, don't we?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
More than I would.
It would appear. Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. Yeah. You know, that's gotta be like kind of come like conflicting, because it's like you said, well, you said it, you know, it's like you want them to have fun.
Yeah.
But also, like, you know, you can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna be the one to fucking let you go do that shit. And I know you wouldn't be cool with it if you were to find out.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, God damn it! Like, if you could just get that fail safe, like, oh, I know he'll be okay.
That was gonna be my next point. I think I know it is. It's 100% the uncertainty, because I just happen to survive all that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a huge risk.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, if you told me for sure that, like, he'll get little bumps and bruises here and there, but he'll learn from them, and that'll just kind of forge him in the fires, and then he'll be, I'm not gonna say I'm a better person for it, you know what I mean? But like, I'm still here. We'll stop there with it. You know what I mean? If you could guarantee that he would get through all of it and he'd still be cool, like, shit, go run wild. You know what I mean? Go learn about yourself. But that such guarantee
doesn't exist. Yeah.
No, so therefore, stay your ass in the house.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what I mean? Read a book, goddammit.
Yeah, fucking A, right?
Yeah.
What's going on Fortnite today?
Yeah. Yo, that's his whole life. That's what I've thought. Like, when we were kids, because, you know, kids nowadays, they watch YouTube, they watch other gamers play on YouTube.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, when I was a kid, and that's fine, you know what I mean? But when I was a kid, my mom would tell me to stop playing video games and go outside. Nowadays, I'm telling my kid to stop watching other people play video games and play video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But again, he gets enjoyment out of it. Who the fuck am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, fuck it. I mean, there's a reason it's so popular. There must be something. Exactly. I don't get it, but, you know, it must do something
it's
for him.
It's not for me. You know what I mean?
Couldn't be me.
Yep. Just like my parents didn't understand the shit I liked.
Yeah,
you know?
fucking A. So who knows? You know, they'll probably grow up to be a million times more excellent than me and you anyway. So,
yes. I hope. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about God for 5 minutes, just because I brought it up earlier, and I don't want to, like, I just know someone's going to be listening, like, cool, they're going to talk about God, and we're just going to, like, skip over it. And
okay.
Like, fuck. So,
God.
Yeah, God.
You asked me if I believe in God.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in God.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I wanted to see my dad again, you know, and that was like a promise that I got, you know.
Yes. By
believing in that. And that promise probably kept me through a lot of rougher times. You know? So I think it has its place.
I agree.
Right.
That's dope that you would come to that conclusion. Yeah. I think it's definitely beneficial. But like a lot of things, you know, I don't know. I'm very scattered on this subject myself, but yeah, I grew up believing. So obviously your parents are believers.
My dad wasn't.
Okay.
But my mom still is. But they weren't like heavy into it.
Sure.
Just like pray for shit when you really want it to happen.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that.
My dad didn't like God because you know, they raised Mexican Catholic family. You have to get up and go to fucking church, stand up and sit down and stand. Like, it was a chore. God was a chore. He didn't fuck with it.
Right. Yeah. So is it that he didn't believe in a God, or that he just believed in a God and he didn't fuck with it?
I think he was just, I was a little too young, but I think he was straight up like self-pronounced atheist.
Yeah.
Or at least as like much of an atheist as like a middle-aged brown man can be, you know, at that back then.
Yeah.
So like, whatever the fuck that is, you know, probably just didn't care, don't know, don't really give a shit, fuck them, whatever.
Sure. Yeah. And at what point did you have a moment where you're like, now I'm an atheist?
Yeah, probably. You know, I read a lot lot it, and then I read something like, I think one of the big selling points for me was that, like, I think something like 90-something% of like the scientific community don't believe in God. And there are like scientists that do.
Sure.
But and then there Bill Maher's got a real good documentary. You seen it?
Religulous?
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
I watched it the other day. I watched it for fun. It's like a comfort movie for me.
I've been wanting to watch it again. I watched it when it first came out. That shit is old. It came out a while back. Yeah. I need to see it again. I remember really liking it though.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's just funny and it's tight.
Right.
It's cool.
Right.
But yeah, years and years, just none of that. Not for me. And especially now with the people that I'm with, it doesn't help because a lot of these beliefs are getting reinforced nowadays. Like this anti. It's not necessarily anti-God. It's anti-religion. It's anti-religious people.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
That's the beef because these people are fucking doing horrible things in the name of this God.
Yes.
And now I can't fuck with that, man.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really shitty that what people are doing to each other,
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's funny that we're the godless ones, but we managed to come to that conclusion that's kind of fucked up that you're burning people alive in the name of your God who's supposedly peaceful. You know what I mean?
That's the whole thing with not like LaVeyan Satanism, like Anton LaVey and all that shit, but like the Satanic Temple. Like I'm a member of that shit. And
we were just gonna go through this whole thing without talking about this. Okay, hold on.
So to join, there's nothing to it. To join the Satanic Temple, it's just an email list.
Oh,
it's
shit.
It's a mailing list.
Oh, I want to get on.
Yeah,
Okay,
you sign up. It's free,
Yeah.
and then they just send you. They don't even send you an email as much as you'd want them to. And it's not about. We don't believe in the devil, right?
Yes,
It's just using Satan to troll the fucking extremist religious people.
I get it.
And be like, hey, and like the tenets of Satanism, at least from the Satanic Temple, are great. Like it's just like, hey, be good to each other.
Yes.
Hey, don't be a dick. Use logic.
Right.
Fucking don't let anybody hurt you. It's just real basic, like normal people shit that you and I would both agree on.
Sure.
And it's not really a religion. It's I don't know how much you know about it, so I don't want to over explain it.
No, I get you.
For those listening at home, it's really ironic how like cool the Satanic Temple is compared to like the Catholic Church or something.
I know just enough about the satanic, like quote unquote religion to know that, it's not like devils and baby eating and fire and all that shit. Like they're really just smart people, logical people, and nice people who put all that into a book, and they're like, okay, we're gonna live our lives this way now. Yeah,
well, that's because there's the Satanic Temple, and then there's like Satanism or the Church of Satan, and the Church of Satan is like they're two different things. They beef with each other.
Okay.
The Satanic Temple, they're cool. They're the cool ones.
Okay.
And this is, I wouldn't say this is subjective. This is like pretty across the board. Most people are on board with this. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, honestly, dude, though, it is a little excessive. Even the Satanic Temple, I would say it's a little extra. You don't need to troll the fucking religious groups. You don't need to
It's so fun.
You don't need to organize shit. It is.
I feel you.
But like you were talking about earlier, like taking that bad shit and putting it into something you like rather than, you know what I mean, hating on people.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if you're gonna hate on anybody, let it be the people that are fucking stoning each other to death. And
that'd be a good starting point.
You know, shit like that. I mean, if you suck at rapping, whatever, I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
There's fucking people out here, you know, cutting each other and shit. You know, in the name of. You get what I'm saying.
I do.
You get what I'm saying.
I totally do.
I was gonna talk about some shit, but you get what I'm saying.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's the hot take on religion. And I think 5 minutes probably, right?
Yeah,
we did it.
It's cool, man. This is, like you said, the Cliff Notes. That's tight.
That's all it is. Fucking A, man. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, that makes me want to read more about the Satanic Temple.
There's a really good documentary. They just put it out. It's free. It's called Hail Satan with a question mark.
Oh, tight.
And it's from the Satanic Temple. It's really, it's free on Hulu right now.
Oh, cool.
Hulu.
I do. Cool.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just plugging their shit now.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out. It's really good.
Dude, I will. I totally will. So you got a new album you're working on?
Yeah, dude. It's exciting, man. Like,
is this this not your punk?
No, that's just like for funsies type shit.
I got you.
It's so short, man. It's like I'm just about done with it. And it's like it's like 30 minutes, maybe. It's only like 10 songs.
Yeah.
Each song is like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And it's like it's so different than anything I've ever made. And like I don't know, if anybody's a fan of mine, like they're gonna go into it thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like some Greaseball shit, you know, typical, but it's not. Like it's really like melodic, and then I got like these lo-fi beats that I've been making and like kind of rap sing-songy shit over them. Not like straight up singing, but like I don't know, it's just so much fun, and it's just got such like a vibe to it, more so than the like if you could have like you know, chill beats to study to, that playlist.
yeah.
Like my hot take on those, and then me rapping over them, but also like melodic notes to it.
Okay,
that's how I'm gonna describe it. But
yeah,
I've been having a lot of fun making it, and I'm really excited to fucking put that shit out, man.
When did you start making it?
The beginning of last year, like right after I finished the second album.
Okay,
I just got back to work. And
how many tracks is it? Did you already
just
say
like 10 songs? 10. Yeah, just fucking slowly.
Yeah,
in the span of like a year, just been doing like one every 3 months or some shit.
What's it called?
I don't have a name yet, but we're leaning on it was Sleep Cowboy.
Okay, I love it.
And then I was thinking maybe I was thinking about calling it Devil versus Cowboy.
Okay,
but it's like a double entendre where it's like devil versus like versus
okay,
comma cowboy.
Devil. Oh shit.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
So we're playing with that, but we don't know yet. Like this is a cowboy font, you know?
Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, it's a very Western font.
So that's been the aesthetic and the approach as far as the branding has been going.
Okay.
Like, I've just been fucking with that shit a lot.
Like you said, that's a complete like change of direction from where you've been.
Yeah, as opposed to just a more grimy rap shit. You know, it's still grimy rap shit. It's just different. I think it's more mature.
Okay.
It's pretty dope. I like it.
When does it come out?
I don't know yet. We don't know what's going on because it's pretty much done.
Okay.
It's just we want to do a release show. We being the like the label and everything.
Yeah. So
we're kind of playing it by ear.
Sure.
You know,
that's what we're all doing with everything.
I was gonna ask you. They were like, "What are you?" They were like, "You gonna talk about the new album today when you go on the show?" I was like, "Yeah, you know, probably." And then they're like, "What are you gonna say?" I'm like, "I don't know. I was gonna ask him. Maybe he has some advice on how to do it." But I mean, I know you don't put out rap albums, but
not well.
But I mean, you know, you can put out content. So sure. I don't know the approach, you know.
Yeah, I mean I definitely have ideas, most of which are based on like what I've seen other people do, but like in this new fucking world that we have at the moment, possibly until further notice, you know what I mean? I have your guess is as good as mine.
Same.
So yeah, it just like wait it out. I mean, specifically if you want to do like an actual show, you know what I mean? Like a release show.
Well,
I think that's the only hang up, right?
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like, I mean, it's kind of total capitalist fucking mentality, like approach to it. It's like, well, I want to make money off the fucking thing.
Nothing wrong with that, baby. Yeah.
So, and that includes like showing up, paying for the admission, buying the CD, or fucking buying the CD. That's how you get in, whatever the fuck the case is. But can't do any of that if I just drop it from home with everybody at home.
Yes. And
then we were talking about maybe, we'll have a release show once we can have shows again. We'll have everybody come back. And then everybody will know the words by then, you know?
Yeah.
Which is, it's just, there's so many a million ways to skin a cat, but we want to find the best way to do it. You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Until further notice, I guess, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Have they even like given us a hint of a date? I stopped paying attention.
No, but like I said, I'm aiming far out.
Yeah, you know? You have your expectations set for like end of summer.
Dude, I'm as unhappy a thought as that is. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm chilling at the crib. I live in a different reality now, you know?
Yes.
So literally.
Yeah.
So I'm chilling, man. I'm just hoping everybody else can hold out, and by the time it's all over, you know, we still got a lot of people with us, you know.
If you were to do anything, especially since the album's done, maybe take advantage of the fact that everyone's at home and start something completely different, like maybe a weekly, I don't know whether that's a video or what, but like to hype up the album, like, hey, just so everyone remembers, we got this album coming out, but until it can, like, let's talk about this now. You know what I mean? Just
build some some hype while everyone's at home.
Yeah. And not maybe entirely based on the album, but just like like something else and then use that to plug the album too. You know what I mean? There's like you said, there's a bunch of ways to do it. It's a good call.
No, yeah, I was thinking that we do have a video shot. I got a camera back in January and fucking shot some shit and it's done too. So I was like, yeah, we'll do that to promote the album. So maybe that's the next step. If I can drop a video and shit and see where that goes.
Yeah. I had a band in here a couple weeks ago and they're a lot younger than us and I want to think that's a coincidence, but it might not be. Like this new generation, they even the way they were talking, like they're like, you know, this is just they were never saying anything like this shit sucks, like it's crazy that we can't do shows or whatever. Like and they're an established band, like they get paid to play every week. You know what I mean? Like they're regulars at this club. And they're like, you know, we're just looking at this as a good opportunity to force ourselves to grow in other avenues. And you know what I mean? Just all the words. And I was like, fuck, that's a really enlightened way to operate. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been, that's the coolest thing, dude, honestly, about doing a podcast is that I can like take little tidbits from everyone, yourself included. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, that was fucking pretty inspiring. You know what I mean? So it's cool.
Just soaking up games.
Yeah, somehow. Straight up, dude. Straight up. Yeah.
So wow, and you know you impart every once in a while too. You do your imparting.
I would like to think so. I try to. You know? Yeah, for sure.
So you know, it's a win-win.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And I guess like going back to what we were talking about, like what's this thing's place in the world? You know?
Yeah. At
the very least, I mean. You know, that's one of the things that this podcast kind of does, I guess, which is kind of cool, you know?
Yeah. Thank you, man. I'm having fun. You know what I mean? Whatever else, whatever byproducts, like, you know, then great.
Just spreading, you know, positive information. And
you know,
promoting self-growth, you know.
Whatever, for sure. Whatever. Whatever, you know. So, and then mixing some dick jokes here and there. Depending on when I had Bonnie here, we got fucking trashed and we just laughed like the whole time. And that was cool. I had fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to listen to the intro.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I cut up a cool little 2-minute clip of us just laughing, like laugh after laugh after laugh. So I'm putting that out today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So all right, that's the album is coming until further notice.
But it's done.
There is an album, and it will come out.
And it's stoked. Great. I promise.
Good. I love that. I love when people know. I love when people make great shit, and B, I love when people know the shit they make is great. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's you should, you know. But this is the first time I would say some shit like that.
That's tight, though.
So that's why I have a little bit of fucking guts to say some shit like that.
And that's good because that tells me that's not just how you are. Like,
nah,
it's not. You're not one of these people who just thinks everything they do is great. No. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah. So you have
if any of them count, let it be this one, and that's not just because it's fucking, you know. I'm not gonna say the last one, but the newest one.
You know? The latest one. Yeah, for sure.
So
fucking
A, man.
That's actually one more question. If someone were to say, "Oh, so you make music, huh? You're a rapper, or whatever," like, send me something. What would you send them if you could send them one song?
I usually send people because most people aren't really into the niche rapping. That shit's happen. Yeah. Like, you know, you go to work, like at work and shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, you get coworkers. They don't fucking like underground rap, most people. So you got to send them. It's cool. I have like middle groundy kind of shit. So I'll send them like Martha or some shit.
That's middle groundy. Okay, you send them Martha.
Send them Martha, yeah.
Okay.
And that's like a cool intro. Where it's like, all right, like, you know, whatever you like, you might like. There might be something of what you like in this song, you know?
Yeah. I've sent people your stuff. I've sent them corny ass rappers.
That's a cool, like, okay, you like the aggressive rap.
yeah. It depends who I'm sending shit to.
Your LA friends.
Exactly. Yeah. And I send them the one which I really like, One for Big Lou. Is that what the name of it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You fuck with that one.
I fuck with that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's like your like autobiographical song, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That one's great.
Thank you, man.
All right, so what's scarier, snakes or spiders?
Snakes.
Snakes, okay. Are you scared of spiders at all?
Nah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nah, I smush them with my hands.
Yeah. I'll smush them with my hands. Pools or jacuzzis?
The cozy.
Cozy. I agree.
Yeah.
Would you rather go skydiving or deep sea diving?
I'm jumping out of plane.
Yeah?
Yeah, the ocean scares me, man.
Same.
It's creepy, right? The shit down there.
Now, would you jump out of a plane regardless? Is that some shit you would want to do?
Nah, not necessarily, but if I had to pick, which I did. Yeah, jumping out the plane.
That's literally how I feel.
Yeah, you're not down. You're not jumping out of any plane?
No, not on my own volition. Not if I don't have a choice.
Yeah, why? You know?
Fuck. No,
why?
I'm good, bro.
I'm good. Yeah. I don't
good.
need that.
But between that and like cave diving or some crazy shit like the abyss, fuck that. Show me the plane.
We don't even know what's down there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what's up there? A whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I'll choose nothing every time.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah. Let's see. If I gave you a round trip plane ticket to anywhere in the world, where would it be?
We're going down to New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You've not been there then, obviously.
I've never been there.
Okay, no. I haven't either.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, obviously just meant like that's why you would choose.
I thought you meant like, oh, I've been there.
You don't want to go there?
Yeah. No, you've obviously never been.
Nah.
No, I love everything about that place from what I've seen.
Okay.
It just seems it's like you want to talk about culture, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely on my list of places I'd like to go to.
Yeah, I know you've been a lot of places.
Yeah.
You've been a lot. You might be one of the most well-traveled people I've ever talked to.
Oh, yeah? I'm very, very lucky. And that just kind of happened. You know what I mean?
No, you don't have to answer this.
No.
Is that like through work? And is it fun?
A little bit of everything, man.
Okay.
For a long time, I was doing contracting work for a cruise ship company. And I wouldn't cruise with them, but the company I worked for would fly me into whatever city the cruise ship was parked at or ported at or, wherever they left the boat.
I see.
So I would fly into the city and get on the boat, do my thing, and then get off. And a lot of times, like sometimes they say, okay, we have 2 boats, but they're like 5 days apart. Would you mind spending a week there? I'm like, fucking hey, are you kidding me? Yeah. And then other times like that they would take me there and then I would like pick up an extra couple days on my dime just because, I've never been to fucking New Zealand or whatever it is, so.
And you got to do your own shooting too, which is dope. And
man.
Some of that shit you've done, I've seen it's amazing.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you. And then other times it's just like, you get with the homies, like, can everyone scrounge up $300? Let's go to Cuba. You know what I mean? Like that's all pleasure. So
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But traveling is definitely something that I love doing.
Word.
I want to do a lot more of, Yeah. Have you traveled at all?
Fuck no.
No?
Never.
Where's the furthest you've been?
I went to Texas once.
Okay. What part of Texas?
Houston.
Okay, I've been to Houston. I like Houston.
Yeah, I got arrested. I was 14. I'll make it real quick.
No, please.
I tried to run away. Me and my first girlfriend ever, the one whose mom gave me my name, Greaseball. I told you about that. She was like, I was like, hi, I'm Joey. She's like, no, you're not. You're a fucking cockroach. You're a fucking greaseball. That's what she called me. And I was like, I like that, And anyhow, me and old girl, we decided we were going to run away to Kentucky, right? When we were 14 years old.
Yeah.
And we scrounged up the dough and we got on the Greyhound bus and we made it as far as Houston, Texas before. Somehow the police, because, you get reported as a runaway when you're a minor. They fucking put out whatever
Yeah.
And they got us somehow because we used I was dumb and we used our real names on the tickets.
Oh, so you weren't saying Greaseball on the tickets?
No, I wish I would have.
Yeah, retrospect.
No, I'm glad I didn't because I would have been in Kentucky and my life would have been very different. But yeah, we made it as far as Houston and they arrested us and took us into like this fucking holding zone for like unaccompanied minors. And I wouldn't say I experienced the city at all.
Right,
I basically,
right.
went to Houston to get put in timeout.
Yeah.
And then sent back.
At 14, you said you were 14
Yeah, 13, 14 years old. Yeah, scary. Ready to leave my whole damn life.
Yeah.
Go live in fucking Kentucky.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it was a weird... I'm telling you, man, it was a fucking weird upbringing.
Well, now that you're writing, bro, like, I mean, if you are so compelled to do so, like, write these things, man. Write a goddamn.
See, that's the problem. I forget shit.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I forgot that. I'm like, oh yeah. Like as I brought it up, I'm like, why did I go to Houston? Oh yeah, because that time I tried to just uproot my whole life, and these are things that it wouldn't hurt to have remembered.
Definitely, man.
And now, thanks to this podcast, they'll be remembered by other people.
Yeah, right. Well, good. I'm fucking honored. Yeah. So what's the aftermath of that? So like you're in a cell in Houston, Texas. Do they call your mom? What? How did they do that?
Yeah. So old girl was reported as runaway. I wasn't.
Okay.
And so they did call my mom, and they were like, "Do you want him to come home?" And she was like, "Yeah, send my son home." And then old girl's mom was like, "Well, I don't want them together, so one of them has to fly, and the other one's going to take the bus." And like even at 14, like so they say chivalry is dead.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not going to let my girl take the bus, you know. So I had to take the bus back, and she had to.
That was a good move. That was a gentlemanly move.
Yeah, well, it paid off, you know.
Yeah.
We're still best for now. I fucking don't know anymore.
I was gonna
where
ask.
this woman is now. I could give two shits about her.
Yeah.
But you know, there's one thing I regret in life.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That was great.
No, I've never been on a plane.
Really? Yeah. That
Almost.
That was your one
That was my
opportunity. You
shot,
fucked
man.
it up with chivalry, son.
Yeah. Could have flown.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I like being in one place.
Yeah.
I'm not a traveling man.
Yeah. Man,
But I would go to New Orleans just to do it, you know.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What's something you've wanted to try but haven't yet?
I wanna be drunk on a boat.
Okay.
Like in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Or just fucked up in some way. Yeah, I would love to be out on a boat, like just trash.
Any specific boat?
Ideally something, not like a cruise ship, but ideally something with at least a sunshade.
Okay.
You give me a pontoon, fucking... I don't want to bake in the sun, but as long as it floats and I can sit there, I'm chilling.
Have you been on a boat before?
Yeah, we went whale watching in like 5th grade. Yeah, but no, they weren't poor in that day, I guess.
Right.
I couldn't, you know.
Right. Let's see. Have you been on a train?
Yeah, plenty of times. Yeah,
Okay,
cool. Trains,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, so been just no planes, one boat, and plenty of trains. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Motorcycles?
I've never ridden a motorcycle.
Me neither,
No.
actually.
Another thing I want to do, more so than a boat, I had this really big fascination. I would love to hop a freight train.
Yeah.
And just go.
You strike me as a freight train hopping motherfucker. I mean that as a compliment.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of the older gentlemen that I would drink in the field with, you know,
that's how they got there.
They would hang out on freight trains sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like real cool.
Yeah.
But I hear it's actually pretty rough.
Oh, really?
And like, you know, a lot of people are like, yeah, don't do that shit. Don't hop on freight trains. It's a miserable way of living.
Oh, but living, yes. I couldn't imagine living that way. I mean, but like once or twice, I could.
Yeah.
What did they say? What do you suppose is so bad about it?
Well, just because like if you're going places, you don't know where the fuck you're going.
Right.
If you miss your train, you have no GPS. You have no power. You have to carry all your shit. You could be sitting on this train for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. Like in hiding essentially the whole time. You know, and if the cops find you, those railroad police, they'll beat your ass. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a whole world, you know, and I'm not gonna act like I'm well versed in it, but I've studied up on it enough to know that, like, you know, it's definitely something you really have to want to do if you're gonna do it.
You gotta commit to that shit. Yeah.
But I would maybe if the shit goes down, I might do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. If my house falls down tomorrow.
Right.
Like real shit. Like,
starting with the leak.
Yeah.
The light bulb leak you're talking about.
I'm real shit. Like I've already thought I'm like that is on the table.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Then I'll put the album out. Put that shit out and just go,
and
baby.
just bounce.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Tell my story.
Yeah.
You know?
This would be like your last appearance.
Yeah.
Your last public appearance.
He was last seen.
That'd be tight.
Throwing back Modelo's with Gadzooks.
That's right. God damn it. Okay. Favorite. Not people always stress about this. Who are your top 5 favorite rappers?
Oh fuck.
See? Dude, everyone always, oh, fuck.
Is that everybody's top?
Every single time.
He's number one. So, fuck.
Yeah, right. Right.
He's first on the list.
Yeah.
Okay. Nas. I'm gonna go. Five Dog.
Okay.
Big L. God damn it, man. Nas, Fife, Big L. This is so hard, man. I'm gonna try to not eat up too much time on this. Nas, Fife, Big L. Give me. Why is this so hard right now?
Would it be easier if I said, give me top 10? Because in a weird way, that's some like reverse psychology shit. Because I think
because you're not scrambling.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I only got 2 more. There's so many people. You know what I'm saying?
I'll think top 10 mentality and then give you 5.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. See, you fucking know a thing or two, man.
So 2 or 3.
Well, that's what I need. I need 2 or 3 more. Nas, Fife, Big L. Let me get the Jizza.
Okay.
And Doom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by any of those answers. That's tight. Okay. That's super tight.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
That's a solid group right there. I'm surprised I forgot Doom.
Yeah.
I don't like him so much anymore, but
growing up. The Doom you like, you really like it. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt, man. Yeah, well, thank you so much for doing this, bro.
Of course.
You're one of these people like I've known for so long, but we've not like had a lot of time to like really sit and talk one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I feel like now is well, I don't know about the now not being the best time, but I feel like I'm finally able to talk to you the way I would like to, which is nice, Sure,
yeah, man. Likewise. Yeah.
So this has been great, man.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, I'm glad.
Thank you for having me.
All day, baby. All day. Thank you for coming. All right.
All right.
Oh shit! I almost forgot. Can you say the devil is a motherfucking lie?
The devil is a motherfucking lie.
Yes. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with a friend or 6 if you think they'll enjoy it as well. You can find this podcast on all major platforms. That's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music, Spotify. You know how this works. So go ahead and find it on your preferred platform. Subscribe, share, leave a 5-star rating, all the podcast things, and do so knowing that it is very much appreciated. This podcast is filmed and recorded at Playmaker Studio right here in Los Angeles, California. You can find more at onthewaydown.net and follow this podcast on Instagram at OTWD Podcast. Thank you to Illuminidal, and thank you for watching. The devil is a motherfucking lie.